Black Alpha Network. Power to the people.
Brother Rich, are you locked in?
B1, brother, I'm locked in.
Hey, they know it wouldn't be a space, man, without that collaboration.
Exactly. It's been a minute, too.
I'm going to let a few people file in, man. I got some people, rolling in right now. I'll give them about a minute or so. We got to get this while it's hot and heavy. Waiting on some of them Twitter space gangsters to show up today, man. I heard about all that.
That's exactly what, that's the perfect name for them. Twitter space gangsters, because that's exactly what they are.
Went from MySpace gangsters to Twitter space gangsters. Ain't that something? Damn.
Exactly. If you're in this space right now, be sure to share it on your Twitter space. Share the space, family. Let everybody know we're in here. It's Saturday. I know everybody's home, so share the space, family.
Queen Alpha, you locked in?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm over here.
Let's get it. Get a room about another minute or so before we jump off.
One of them Negroes that had that space yesterday, I seen him came in here and he ran off. I think he seen me and he skated off.
He put them track shoes back on, didn't he?
Exactly. He think we conduct ourselves just like him. No, I'll give you a chance to speak. When I was at your space, I waited for an hour. You let everybody speak. You didn't let me speak, but we're men over here. I'll give you the floor. I'll give you the mic. I'm not scared to speak to anybody.
Yeah, I notice that's the difference with us, man. Like, it's equal opportunity on this side, man. Everybody else plays them little games.
Yeah, because they know if I start speaking, I'm gonna start making sense, and they can't refute what I'm saying. Because if you could refute what I'm saying, you will give me the mic. I will give you the mic. I'll let anybody speak. That's anybody. You could be disagreeing with me. You could be a detractor, a enemy, a white person. I give anybody the mic. Just because I cut you off, that's not me trying to stop what you're saying. I'm just making sure we come to an understanding. So if you're talking and I cut you off, I want to stop the conversation and retract exactly what you said. I'm not cutting you off because I don't want to hear you speak. I'll let anybody speak, no matter what section of Twitter you are or whatever your beliefs is. Because if what you're saying is true, it's gonna stand. The people gonna relate. I don't have to stop you from speaking.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't we had that one white guy and he was from like England? And we let him have the floor, let him speak his mind. He wasn't out of pocket. We let him go. Those guys called in from Africa last week. We let them go. It was all love.
Exactly. The only time I'm against you speaking is if you're trolling or you're just babbling. But besides that, man, take the mic. Go ahead. Because if what you're saying is true, it's gonna stand the test of time. And if what you're saying is not true, then the people are gonna see. I don't need to hog the mic for people to realize that the truth always prevails.
That's a big fact, brother. We're gonna go ahead and set this off now. I'm just setting up my little piece on my PC right here on top of this app right here. But yes. All right. Yeah, I seen a little bit of the space yesterday. I caught a couple of them, man. There's a couple of them. This is a reoccurring issue that keeps going on, and it's about time that it gets addressed thoroughly, and everybody needs to get to the core of what's really going on. That's why we put it in the front. It's calling ICE patriotic, and that's why I tell people, we're all tax-paying citizens. We're all law-abiding citizens, so we got the right to speak on this subject, no matter how much, it hurts people's feelings, or no matter how much they try to put other items on us. This is what we can speak about, and it's time that people really get to the point instead of just going for the democratic, what they say, illegal immigration is a black issue. Nah, that's that flat blackness, and we coming up off that, and we circling those wagons right now. So it's time that we address how much this really genuinely has a bad effect on foundational Black Americans, and how it really has a bad effect on our people as a whole. Because I don't think the average person knows. I think they just know the Democrats told me to support it, so I'm going to go do it, and we got to get that up out of here.
Exactly. As soon as I see that, as soon as Black people, the average Black person, start really thinking about making real power moves, the scared Negroes, they're the ones that give the pushback.
It's like they're afraid to do anything that everyone else says. I just seen something today, and it's that illegal immigration costs this country $350 billion a year. So if you have a child that's 5 years old, that means that's literally $1 trillion by the time that child was born to right now as we speak. That's a big problem. That's the reparations money right there. That's a cut of the reparations money right there. So when they say they don't know where the money's at and they can't find the money, that's a damn lie. It's going right there to people who aren't even American citizens. So that's right there has got to get done. And not to mention all the other details about the immigrant supremacy, what I call it, because they come over here and they practice that on, indigenous people. And like me and Queen Alpha was saying earlier, they never come over here with smoke for any other community. It's always us. It's always us. You don't never hear them coming over here with no type of movement against the dominant society or any other group. It's always they have an issue with us when they show up. So these type of things going to definitely have to get, flattened out. We're going to have to really get to the core of this.
And this is why I hold our intellectual godfathers to high regards, because everything we speak about has already been spoken. Neely Fuller Jr. said, we're supposed to give justice to the people who need justice the most. So you start with the worst of the worst. Who needs it the most? Right now, Black Americans need the most justice they can get. They need the most help. You give the most constructive help to the people that need it the most. So why would I leave America and go grab people who have never been to America, never contributed to anything towards America, go grab them, go help them, and then I got people over here that need help? Or better yet, I'll use this example. Let's say it's a fire, a house catches on fire, and there's two houses on the left side of it, and one house on the left side of it and another on the right side. And the firefighter comes, and instead of going inside the house that's burning, he goes inside the house next to the house that's burning and go rescue those people instead of going to rescue the people inside the house that's burning. That's exactly what America wants to do. They want to go help people in a house from a house that's not even burning. Black Americans' houses are burning. We have the worst statistics when it comes to any little thing. When it comes to COVID, when it comes to employment, when it comes to savings. But they want to skip over Black Americans and go straight to a group of people who have contributed absolutely nothing to America. If you want to speak, just raise your hand. And for those who are about to come in here and speak, just raise your hand if you want to speak.
Go ahead, Honey. I think that is Honey. I can't see the last name, but go ahead. You good?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. I think you just said something about. You said something that really got my attention. Man, it's really important for us to be on code and to understand that, the politics we're dealing with it's a huge. They basically put billions into it. They literally put billions into trying to keep us off code and keep us off balance. And the key to us as men, we gotta keep our cool, and we gotta watch the game. And everything they try to do, we can't get emotional, because that's been our downfall. And it's important, man, to just keep our focus. And that's the first thing I want to say. I'll drop it there.
And that's the thing. They don't want us to think, because the minute we start thinking, then these Democrats who come up with all these campaigns and come up with all these plans for us, then we start questioning them, because they come to us and they start feeding us things that we was never even interested in. Yeah. Like, since when did I tell you I was interested in helping illegals? They just dropped.
We never said that. Our grandparents never said that. Our grandparents didn't die for that. Think about what they would be feeling right now if they were alive and they saw this. Do you understand what our great grandfathers would tell us? What the hell are you going to vote for? Are you going to vote? You mean to tell me just like Tariq said, you mean to tell me I got my ass beat and slapped around so you can go vote for Democrats who you've seen over 50 years hadn't done anything? Did I raise you? Are you my seed? Based on what we did in the past? We gotta do better. We gotta think about that, bro. This is our opportunity right now. Here's what we need to know. The Democrats are on their heels. We are 70 million deep in this country. Understand what I'm just telling y'all. We're 70 million. There's 11 to 12 million immigrants from all over the world here, and 1.2 million black immigrants. They aren't even close to us. We don't need to be afraid. We just need to be strategic. We've got the numbers. Now the media, nobody believes the media. And so now this is black media's chance to get the ear of their own people. And we have to do that. And if we can shift this thing a little bit, we can win. And if we move to the independent stage and say, hey, look, the best bidder, the highest bidder, we're listening. Otherwise, we ain't moving. So we've got to figure out that strategic part, that sweet spot that we need to find as a group and say, okay, we may vote Democrat for this person, like for Marcel. We'll vote Democrat for Marcel. But we got to be really strategic down to the details.
That's a good point, brother. The black slave has become the catalyst for every single group in this country to eat off of outside of foundational black Americans. Every single group, they evoke the emotion or the spirit of our slaves. That's why they always talk about, they say immigrants built this country. We know that's not true, but that's who they're trying to refer to when it comes to taking what's on our plate and transition it over to the immigrants' plate. This is what always happens time and time again. And the Democratic Party, as you were saying, brother, they're the catalyst behind this. They're the cornerstone. They're the ones who push this forth. They're the ones who tell.
You know why? Because they know they can't win. I'm going to give y'all a fact that you need to really absorb, guys. Think about this, right? There only 34% of the people who claim to be of white status in the United States of America are actually of European descent. Only 34%. The rest are Egyptians, Arabs, Ethiopians, Somalians. They're all claiming white status. Asians claiming white status. Hispanics claiming white status. That is not their population. Their population is made up. See, they want us to think we're a coalition. They're the coalition. They're the coalition. We are 70 million deep. Guys, there's a chance that we outnumber them. Why do you think they come to us every election? They don't go to Hispanics. They just take care of throw out a few things to Hispanics. They can't depend on them. The Hispanics will jump on the Republican boat overnight when they get here. But they keep playing this game. Like I was watching this show on MSNBC or CNN. I would just watch it just for, ops, right? And so I'm watching this. This guy's calling us the woke crowd. They're labeling us woke. All black people are now they're saying the woke crowd is going to be the problem for the Democratic Party. They're blaming us for that shit on national TV. But they're calling us the woke crowd. None of us give a damn about that woke crowd. But that's what they're doing.
Yeah, woke is just another term basically for black or any black issues, foundational black American issues. It's just a false terminology so they could try to spin it and take things that mean for us. See, they like to play the games of speak about our issues but not really do nothing about it. Give us some fraudulent types. Exactly. So when we start taking those terms and we mean it, And we're like, no, this needs to get done. I mean, think about it. When it comes to education, they say we're all Americans. When it comes to healthcare, they say we're all Americans. But once we start saying, well, we're all Americans, and let's talk about how these other groups affect us in a negative light, then all of a sudden it's no, wait a minute now. Hold on now. You got to toe that democratic line.
You're messing with their coalition for voters. They know that we're jumping off the ship. They see the trends. They know. So at this point, we got to know that. The trending says that black people are not on their boat. So they've got to find other ways to make it up. And so they're going to be advertising some the Hispanics. They're going to be pushing it. That's why they're bringing the damn Ukrainians over here. They're done, bro. Listen, we could kill the Democratic Party this year at the midterms by either not voting or just voting Republican. I'm not telling people to vote Republican. I'm just saying if you believe in immigration being cut off, you might want to do that because that's what they believe. These white people are staunch about that. I know enough of them. I work in the corporate world. They don't care about any of these immigrants. They'll jump on our boat before they jump on theirs. So, and we got to know that too. You know, they don't trust these people. They can't trust Hispanics. They don't know what they're going to do. That's why they're in limbo right now. They know we vote 75 to 80%.
Honey Badgers, slow down, brother. Slow down. If you're in this space right now, please share it. Share it to your Twitter space. Let everybody know you're in here, so we can get some more people in here.
I'm passionate, bro.
Yeah, slow down. You got to slow down, brother. Slow down.
I'm going to let you have it, bro. I'm going to let y'all have it. If y'all got more knowledge, I'm going to let y'all have it. I'm going to step out.
No. It's not about having more knowledge. When it's your time to speak, all you got to do is raise your hand and you can come right back up. Yeah, so if you're in the space right now, share it. Let everybody come in so we can have a good dialogue and dissect what people have been saying about this topic. I've been reading tweets since last night, and I'm hearing what people are saying. And if you disagree that calling ISIS patriotic, feel free to come up and speak. And on these Twitter spaces, I allow anybody to speak, whether you agree with me or not. I don't filter who can speak to me or not, because I can stand on what I say. Unlike others, they can't stand on what they say, so they don't allow others to speak. But over here, I can stand on everything I say. But with that being said, you got these illegal immigrants coming in here, right? And what America likes to do, they're like a helicopter just dropping off food to the needy. But instead of what they're dropping off, instead of it being food, it's other people's problems. So they'll just come into our neighborhoods, or not even come into our neighborhoods, just feed us propaganda, and the propaganda is helping other people. And we have nothing to do with it. Like we never interacted with these people before. They don't look out for us. We don't look out for them. We don't have no relationship with them. They just come to our neighborhoods and just drop off problems from other communities. Think about it. The new problems they trying to drop off is the Ukraine people. I'm in New York City, so they're coming over here. In New York City right now, if you go to certain neighborhoods, all you see is Ukraine flags all over the place. So they already started coming in. And these are not our problems. These are their problems. They're dropping off to us. But we live in a time, we used to live in a time where older black folks would accept other people's problems, where whenever there was a problem, they would be like, oh, we got to look out for Ukraine. We got to look out for black immigrants. We got to look out for these. We got to look out for that. But now younger black folks like, bro, I got too much problems to be looking out for other people. Like, well, I got my own problems. I'm trying to get a better job. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. And you over here dropping off problems to me. So this is the new effect that's going on. You seeing black people starting to only care about themselves. And they hate that because now we're being selfish. Because before we were selfless. We would care about what everybody had to say, care about what everybody had going on. No, you got to help yourself first. Help yourself first. Then you can start. And like I always say, I always go back to Neely Fuller Jr. What does he say? Give the help to the people that need it most. Produce justice to the group of people that need it most, and then you work your way down. Right now, who needs help most? Black Americans. Who could use the help most? Black Americans. That I'm not saying that other black people around the world don't need help. They need help also, but Black Americans are going to do the most with the help that they get. Black Americans are going to make the best moves with the help that they get. If we go give help to Africa right now, you already know what they're going to do. They bunch of coons over there, so they ain't going to do nothing. But if you give help to Black Americans, they going to start breaking the pie up. You about to start seeing Black Wall Street again. You about to start seeing businesses booming. And then you work your way down. And this is why I follow our intellectual godfathers. I don't ever overstep them, because there's no need to overstep people who already done the work. Neely Fuller Jr. wrote that book in 1985. And here we are in 2022, and everything he was saying is coming to light. He literally put white supremacy, the word white supremacy, on the map. He put the word race soldiers on the map. He put the word the dominant society on the map. He put the word suspected white supremacists on the map. And I'm supposed to just jump over that and just throw it away. No, I follow my intellectual godfathers, and I let them lead, and I stand beside them. Go ahead, Black Alpha.
And that's a good point, brother. And didn't Dr. Claude Anderson, if I'm not mistaken, he was speaking on the same things in the 1980s, as well as the 90s. The videos are out there. They were calling it that they want to bury us under immigration. And it's real nefarious, because a lot of these other groups, they are non-defiant to supremacy. Foundational Black Americans are the only defiant people to white supremacy really on the planet Earth. I ask anybody, present to me somebody else in masses that have done it consistently, win against supremacy. You can't find none. It starts with us and it ends with us. So these other groups, they come over here, they never have smoke for the dominant society, even though they're treated by the dominant society way worse. Way worse. We don't even have any problems with them. Everything they say about us is contrived, and it's a bold-faced lie. But they always go around everybody else and try to pick a bone with FBA. In reality, the dominant society is the ones who have the true problems with them. They're the ones affecting their day-to-day life. They're the ones affecting their day-to-day advancements. But they always have hate for us, is because they come over here to assimilate. They come here to get theirs. And all that unity, and they have terms that they can, black and brown, minority. Those are terms just so people can buffer what's ours and take it home to themselves. And everybody knows that. And they're really upset, though, because this is, as you're saying, brother, this is the era where we're finally, absorbing the teachings of Neely Fuller and Dr. Claude Anderson, and we circling that wagon. And all those fake relationships that we've been a part in, that stuff is getting pushed to the curb. And we're literally challenging folks and saying, you got to get out of here with these fake companionships that really doesn't exist with us. So every time they come over here and they affect us in a lot of ways. And I tell people all the time, and that's why I said, is it patriotic? That's why I said it's patriotic, because one, you have the issue between immigrants and how they treat us on a race level. I call it immigrant supremacy, because a lot of these people practice immigrant supremacy, which is their off-brand version of white supremacy, and they pull that stuff on us. And then two, from, like I said, a patriotic aspect, we're talking about $350 billion a year on the books, not even to mention off the books. So like I was saying, if you have a child that was 5 years old, from when that child was born to right now, that's $1 trillion on people who aren't even American, while you have Americans out here in the streets. In the state of Georgia, I seen a whole influx of Ukrainian refugees, or whatever you want to call them. They had an interpreter with them. They had an interpreter, a paid interpreter, driving them around, taking them to the store like a damn chaperone. This is what's going on out here in these streets. So everybody knows that these immigrants and all of these illegal aliens, they are not on the same team as foundational Black Americans. That's all democratic lies. That's all democratic deception. And right now we're doing that full rotation of circling that wagon. Go ahead, Brother Bobo.
Hey, what's up, family? I wanted to say, I want to address the topic of the room. It's absolutely patriotic, because this is our home, and you must defend your home. You must defend your home, because I always say this, always say that the foreigner will always steal from the native. That has been true throughout history. The foreigner will always steal from the native. It's just the foreigner's nature. That's what he come for. He will always steal from the native. So you must defend your home. When back when everybody was against Trump, and Trump was saying build the wall and build it tall, I was with that. I was with that. The black community said I was crazy. They was talking. They was talking to me like I was a clone or something. It only makes sense. You gotta put a wall up. You must have a barrier. You gotta check and see who coming in. Whoever don't believe in a wall, I used to use this analogy. If you don't believe in a wall, leave your front door open and your back door open for 48 hours. Just go about your regular life. Go take a shower, go to work, come back, go pick the kids up. Whatever you do, just leave your front door open and your back door open. Watch how much stuff, how much bullshit come in your house. Animals gonna come in, intruders gonna come in, the weather gonna come in. You must have a barrier. So calling ICE on an illegal that's what you're supposed to do. This is our home. What is ICE for? That's what they for. You better come get this trash. Let me see. Hey, I'm snitching. I'm telling. I don't care. I'm telling.
And since we on that topic, let me address the bummy niggas. The niggas that's calling average everyday black folks snitches because we decide to call ICE. You niggas are bummy. Nobody's listening to the 1% of the black community. You hood niggas, you only take up 1% of the black community. You are not the entire black community. You do not dictate what the black community does. You are not the smartest group in the black community. You might be the one that caused the most violence and destruction, but you're not the most smartest. And when I say violence and destruction, I'm not tearing you guys down because I come from a family of gangsters and hood dudes. I come from that and I understand that. And I'm not throwing you guys in the trash. But what I'm not doing, I'm not putting you guys at the front of this. No, the people that belong in the front of the line are the smartest group of people, not the dumbest. Because most of the hood niggas, I know them niggas is dumb. For you to catch cases back to back to back to back to back, that means you a dumbass nigga. That means you don't know how to get away from doing crime. So you are not the smart. You are not the smartest group. You are not the smartest collective in our group. So you don't get to decide what we do. The people that get to decide is the smartest group of people.
And it's funny, brother, they don't ever apply that same type of logic when it comes to our own community. You know what I'm saying? Because they be the first ones on the phone telling. They be the first ones on the phone dropping dimes, just like old buddy on belly. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The same way. They dropping dimes, eating bananas and all that shit. That's how they get down. They don't care. So all of a sudden, I just think, honestly, it's a sneak way for them to cape for another community. And they're trying to use the street code as a backdoor avenue to do so. Because we all know they telling every day. There's somebody out now, right as we speak, telling on another brother. They don't have that type of unity. They're not built like that. They're not really out here riding. How many of these brothers have rode on people like George Zimmerman? They ain't did nothing. But now all of a sudden they got some type of honor and some type of respect when it comes to, illegal aliens. Nah, that's a false lie. They're lying through their teeth and they know they're not really built like that or for that type of, holding each other down. If you want to hold each other down, stop some of that nonsense that you're doing in the community. That's what you need to do. All that shooting and bullets ricocheting off buses and hitting little kids and stuff like that. Then you need to have some type of real respect. But you can't walk around all day long with no respect. And then when it comes to legal immigrants, you want to talk about honor and code. And this is why I tell black folks all the time as well. You want to talk about not telling on these folks. Do you think that they're not going to tell on you? Because they're going to tell all day long. They have no loyalty to black Americans. They have none at all. Like Bobo said, they're coming to get what's yours. They want what's in your house. They don't give a damn. Do you think these people give a damn about MLK or Malcolm X or Huey Newton? They couldn't pick them out if you put the picture in front of them and labeled it. They don't give a damn about our history. They don't care about our past, slavery. They are anti-black from another country. That's why I tell black folks, get hip to, racism, not just here in these borders, outside of these borders. Then you'll find out all of these people come from anti-black countries. All of them come from anti-black countries. When you talk about Mexico, I've been to Mexico. Mexico is very anti-black. Black Mexicans just popped up on the census 5 years ago, and they're the ones who are indigenous to the land. How are you indigenous to the land and you just popped up on the census last weekend? So I tell black folks, when somebody's on the other side of the street, their country, what makes you think they're going to be racist over there, but when they come over here, they're going to be your friend? That's delusion. That's wrong. So these street guys and anybody who's out here caping for these folks, you got to really understand. Ukrainians, we all know that's an anti-black place. We all know everywhere in the Middle East is anti-black. And if you want to know, just go look at the black people who are there and how they're getting treated. They view those people with a lot of disdain, and they really hate us more because we fight back. And they're not used to dealing with black folks like us. They're used to going over there and busting black folks across the head and kicking their immigrants there. They can't do that when they come here, and that makes them even more mad. So these people ain't solid by no means at all. Go ahead, Brother Rich.
And this is the oh, by the way, before I say anything, if you're in this space, make sure you share it to your Twitter space. Let everybody know you're in here, so we can get more people in here. Share it real quick, family. But what I wanted to say is their solution to this is for us to get up and go police our communities. These niggas, the babbling they be coming up with, I think it's jail babble, I think it's prison babble that they come up with. And they just start blurting it out. But this is the dusty nigga talking points that they had. They said we need to get up and go police our communities and get them out from that direction by us physically getting them out. That is the most delusional thing I ever heard in my entire Twitter space journey. I have never heard something so silly. And I'm not saying that strategy is a bad strategy. I'm saying I'm looking at things from an objective point of view. I'm looking at things from a realistic point of view. We can't even police our own communities. How the hell we gonna police other people in our communities? How does that even make sense for us to get up and get these people out our communities ourselves? We can't even get the worst of the worst out of our own communities. The niggas that be shooting shit up, shooting at children, shooting at cars, shooting at churches, shooting at innocent people. We can't even get them out of our community. So how are we going to get other groups of people out of our community? But this is what happens when you just keep babbling and babbling and babbling. This is what happens. You just come up with silly things and you think nobody's going to check you for it. It's just silly, silly, silly. That's all it is. You cannot get a group of people out of your community if you can't even get your own out of your community, if you can't even regulate your own community. First, you got to regulate your community first with your own people. Then you'll have the strength. Then you have the leadership and the discipline to get others out your community. It's that simple.
Go ahead, Brother Bobo.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, whoever think calling ISIS snitching, I mean, yeah, like you said, bro, that's a dusty nigga. He ain't got nothing going on. Now, me personally, I grew up in the street. I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the projects. I spent my whole entire teenage years in and out of youth facilities for selling drugs. So I grew up with a code of not snitching and you can't snitch. And we used to beat niggas' ass and strip them naked on the block. That was a thing. Like, our hood was known for that. So I grew up like that. Now, I'm a grown man. I'll be 36 this year. I'm a grown man. I got shit to lose. I own property now. I got cars. I got a small business. I got a part-time job. I got shit going. I got family. You know what I'm saying? I got shit going.
Oh, no. Vovo, you know what they want you to do? They want you to live by the rules of the life you used to live, not the life you living now.
Like you said, they dusty. They ain't got nothing going. They ain't got nothing to lose. If you come try to hurt my daughter or hurt my family or some shit like that, what you think I'm gonna do? If I can't get to you, I'm a taxpaying citizen. I'm supposed to call the police. If you an illegal and I know you ain't supposed to be here, I'm calling ICE. You better get up out of here. If it's a house full of illegals down the street, I'm calling ICE. You got to get out of here. So yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. If I'm a snitch, so what? Well, then I'm a big snitch then. I don't care. I'm a taxpaying citizen. This my country. This my home. I want to live the best way I can. That's what they for. That's why we pay them. Anybody that say that's snitching, you gotta be a goofy, and you ain't got, and we just gotta ignore that. You know what I'm saying? They about to go to the back of the line now. They had they time in the front. All that goofy shit that's going on now in our culture, where they was put to the forefront, be a real nigga and be a bad bitch and all that. That shit getting played out, and that shit about to be out of style.
I like how you said that, brother. We some tax-paying citizens and some law-abiding citizens. When has it not become cool to be a law-abiding citizen. It only comes cool when they're trying to cape for these illegal immigrants, and that goes straight to the Democratic Party. A sanctuary city is basically a place where they tell criminals, come over here and be free. I never heard anything about a sanctuary city when it comes to black folks being pulled over by race soldiers. They don't never have any tips of the trade on how we can handle ourselves in those type of situations. And we're from this country. We built this country. We're indigenous to this country. We're foundational. They don't never have any assistance for us. Instead, we get Crown Acts and Hip Hop History Month and Juneteenth. But these other people actually have places to go. We had a place to go a long time ago. It was called St. Augustine. And we all seen what they did to that. So black folks have no backdrop to get away from race soldiers. They don't even try to attempt to help us in that area. But when it comes to these other groups, they're literally providing sanctuary cities. People don't even understand the ramifications of that and how deep that is. You're telling someone who's not from this country that you can go to a place and be safe for breaking the law. The same country that is always using black accusations against black folks that are falsified and not real, putting black men and black women in jail for trumped up charges and railroading us. But at the same time, they're telling other people, oh, break the law. Come on over here. You'll be safe. You'll be good to go. That's wrong. That's wrong. And this is why we're calling it out. And this is why we're circling our wagons. And everybody knows as well, the same way these immigrants treat us when they come here. We all know the game they got. They have no love for us. They have no love for us. The only people who are trying to push this pedal are the Democratic Party and all these other minions. But go ahead, Brother Tim.
Before you go, Tim, if you want to speak, just raise your hand. Just raise your hand and we'll go in order. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, greetings, Black Alpha, Queen Alpha, and Rich, and everybody that's in attendance. I just wanted to throw out some facts of this immigration stuff. As you notice, when Biden first went in, you know, they had a run on the border of almost 500,000 people. A lot of those people were caught at the border. The Department of Homeland Security, what they did, they caught people. They pretty much let people go on their own recognizance into the country. You know, a lot of those people were supposed to show back up to court hearings. Maybe like 50,000 did. Everybody else just ran loose in the country. The other group that made it through, they came in through to the country. They are the people right now that, you know, we have a lot of underhanded laws that are going on right now where people are getting benefits where they're not telling us. Now, since he's been in office, we've had a bunch of illegals who've been getting just free money monthly, you know, maybe up to like $5,000 a month, you know, taxpayer money free. You know, we have, people over in Ukraine. They're going to get $55 billion for 5 months. Think about that. You know, so that's one thing. And I think one thing we can really do when we talk about this is when we say immigration, don't call it immigration. Say illegal immigrant, you know, because, there was a disturbing story that came out with y'all heard about I think the airmen that saved the 2 illegal immigrants crossing the river and he drowned, but they're alive. So that was a black man that saved 2 illegal immigrants crossing into the country illegally. They're going to probably live better than he did when he got here. Oh, you want to say something, Annika? I'll shut up.
No, go ahead, Princess Annika. If you want to speak, you got to raise your hand. You can't come in here and just start speaking. You got to mute your mic, and if you want to speak, raise your hand. Go ahead, Timson.
And concluding, just try to get correct with the language. When you hear people say immigrant, say illegal immigrant. Don't be afraid to say it because that's what it is. You know, things are actually going to get 3 or 4 times worse in the next few months because if Biden passes this other bill that's coming up, they're going to have a flood on the border. They're going to have almost 1 million people rush that border. Think about it. 1 million people. And most of them are actually going to come in, you know, get first dips at everything. It's just a mess of how things going. You know, how they don't have money for anything to support people here. But, you know, they can $55 million. Think about that. Just for everybody here, just think about that. $55 billion for 5 months. Could you imagine the debt? You know, they don't want to cut, fuck student loan debt, but they don't want to cut student loan debt. They keep bringing up, when they talk about the citizens here, they keep bringing up a $1,400 stimulus checks. We got like 16, 6 months ago, and half of us didn't even qualify for it. So just kind of think about that. And I'll pause right there.
And by the way, black immigrants, most of them when they come here the right way. You got white immigrants and his well, not white, his Hispanics and all of them. They come here the illegal way, and they don't get no pushback. So if you're gonna cape for immigrants, at least cape for the black immigrants if you're gonna do that.
And then just think about this too, Rich. It's something just pointing back what Alpha said. You know how they had the translators going around with them. Notice when these folks come here, they get somebody to baby them. They get somebody to tell them exactly where the programs are, how to do this, how to do that. You know, when it comes to, you know, like with this stuff with the stimulus thing, you know, even with the coronavirus thing, when everything went down, banks, utility companies, everybody received money that was actually, you know, supposed to help us, you know, but if you get in trouble with a bill, the company doesn't send you, they don't send you a letter stating, hey, we received money from the stimulus. We're going to go ahead and pay you. We're going to front your bill for the next month or the next 3 months. They say, no, you got to pay that bill. So it's kind of crazy about that. Just think about that. Look at when it comes to black people, we got to go through the red tape and the paperwork. Everybody else just get the free ride, and I'll end.
Exactly. Everybody, all the white Hispanics, they get to do anything illegal they want to, but the black immigrants, they got to go through a whole bunch of hurdles. They got to jump through at least if you're gonna open all the borders, then be fair with everybody. Let everybody just jump through. But you got one section of black folks, they got to go through all this paperwork, and this other section right here, white Hispanics, they get to just come in and do whatever they want, and it makes absolutely no sense.
We seen what happened to the Haitians down at the border. We seen the dualities of treatment and how they were treated opposed to everybody else. Oh, you see how, what was it? Are they getting $400,000? Was it a piece for the people separated at the border by Trump? That I got so tired of hearing that term. They just giving them out money. It's the same border they're crossing. One person's getting $400,000 a piece. The other person's getting whips and chains on the damn horseback. But this another brother right here I know is thorough on this subject. Go ahead, brother Nas.
All right, yeah, man. I was downloading this immigration video that somebody said they were trying to hide. But yeah, so I wrote down some things I was gonna say. You know, so the correct term is illegal alien. As much as I can, I don't even say illegal immigration, because if you say illegal immigration, then they just drop it off. You know, like, so you say illegal immigration, illegal immigrant. They drop that illegal shit, and then they say immigrant, or they say immigration. So, you know, I try to use illegal aliens. Sometimes I use fake asylum seekers. Sometimes I use economic migrants, like some of the people in the UK. The other thing I was going to say is, fuck student loan debt, okay? What we have to understand is, when we advocate for ourselves, you cannot fall into a Democratic fucking trip bag talking about some fucking student loan debt. Most of the motherfuckers that go to college are white people and Latinos and everybody else, Asians and all that. They're the only ones excited about this student loan debt. Most black people can't even afford to go to college in the first place. Only a small subsection of us are in college. So this student loan debt, that's bullshit, okay? You ask any black person, most black people who have a massive amount of student loan debt, they haven't even paid on it. So if you just zero that shit out, their life doesn't really change that much. I'd rather get a reparations check or direct cash like they give all these fucking illegals than to say, oh, forgive my student loan debt. That's the stupidest shit. No offense to Tim for saying that. I'm just saying, like, in my mind, when I think of hear student loan debt, it's like the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Who gives a fuck? Give me the cash directly. We'll figure the rest out. The other thing I was going to say, when it comes to, like, this whole thing that, oh, if they're all black immigrants, and no offense to Rich for mentioning shit, but this is just my opinion when I hear this shit. Oh, if they're all black, that's better. Dude, if 1 million motherfuckers come here and they're green, does it make a difference? If they come and gentrify your neighborhood, take all your fucking jobs, all your fucking resources, and then criminalize you, call the cops on you, does it matter if they're black, green, purple, white? It doesn't fucking matter. People need to, like, really understand what they're saying when we're in this fucking war. I don't give a fuck about no goddamn black immigrants. I don't give a fuck about no fucking white immigrants, Latino immigrants. I don't give a fuck about any of them. They shouldn't fucking be here, okay? Until we are where we need to be in this country, no immigrant should come to America. That's how I feel. And if I was in charge, I'd end all this shit. All of it. I'd close it down for 10 to 20 years, zero immigration. Immigration moratorium, nothing, zero amnesty, dude. Like, dude, we have to get real serious about this stuff. Sorry, I got a little heated. I just, when I hear the talking points, and it's like, this is the thing. It's not that people mean, especially in here, it's not that people mean bad by it when they say it. It's just that I think a lot of people haven't looked at this enough to understand how sharp you have to be when you talk about this stuff. We don't leave any open holes, okay? Most of those Haitian immigrants, some of them went back for vanity purposes or flown back, mostly men. The rest of them got released like the Latinos, all in America. They're all over the damn place. So we have to remember that. It doesn't matter what color they are. We have to put ourselves first. Whatever that means, whatever we have to do, we have to put ourselves first. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
And by the way, I don't agree. I don't even agree with black immigrants coming here. Just to clarify, I don't even agree with them. What I'm saying is that at least if Negroes is going to cape for immigrants, at least make the immigrants black if you're going to do that. But I do not agree with any immigrants coming here because I believe in black people wherever you are. I believe in you fighting white supremacy from where you're born, where you're from. That's what I believe in. I believe you should stay where you are and fix your home country, because running away, there's no such thing as running from white supremacy. Because if you come to America, you're just getting a different version of white supremacy, but it's the same thing. So you might as well just stay where you are. And for instance, like the Haitians coming here, if you stay where you are in Haiti and fight white supremacy, that actually helps black people across the globe. Because now when we hear that you're doing your thing over there in Haiti, you send us a kite and let us know you putting in that work, that Ogun work, that Jean Jack Jesseline work. We hear you putting in that work. We like, okay, let's turn up over here too. So I want my brothers in Haiti to stay where they are. I don't want them to come here. The Jamaicans, I want y'all to stay where y'all are and fight white supremacy from right there. Do it right there. Don't go nowhere. Stay right there. And then when you start turning up, when we start turning up, then we start linking up and making some big moves. I do not believe in black people running anywhere from white supremacy, because there is no, like Neely Fuller said, you can't run from white supremacy. White supremacy is global. It's in Africa, it's in Haiti, it's in Jamaica, it's in Japan, it's in Thailand. There's nowhere you can go where you can run away from white supremacy unless you're in North Central Island. That's the only place you can go where there's absolutely no white supremacy. And they ass ain't even accepting you too, because they know your ass a coon. They don't want you over there anyway.
Hey, it's funny, Brother Rich. You end up running into a white supremacist trying to get away from one. Ain't that a damn shame? I got a question though. Hey, Brother Nas, did you say that a lot of those Haitians, like the men, you said they came back here anyway?
They for vanity purposes, when they had those flights, last time I checked, they flew a couple of them back, on the flight, right? So if you, I think I saw a video where the Haitians were throwing shoes at the border agents or the people on the flight or whatever. But for the most part, when I checked back, I don't know, it's a couple weeks later, they said that most of the Haitians were released to the interior, just like they do the Latinos. So you have some black people who fucking didn't do their research or didn't even see this, because it's a lot of shit that I just see a lot of immigration shit. So most people, I can't even blame people for not even seeing this, because there's so much coming at us. I barely remember it. But for the most part, they only got a little bit rougher treatment than the illegal alien Latinos. Just a little smidge. That's really all they got. It's just a little smidge. It's all the same. I'll put it like this. They're all here to replace us. That's it. It's just that simple. And the confused Negroes, not in this room, but the confused Negroes out here, they're going to support their own destruction, man. And I tell you right now, bro, if those Negroes want to support their own destruction, good luck. You go move into that neighborhood and live with all them people that hate you, man. That ain't gonna be me, bro. That's not gonna be me. I mean, and tell you the truth, I don't know, like I'm just kind of really focused on, getting, candidates that we know that believe like we believe in office. And, I'm focused on working with Marcel. So I've been doing a lot of research with campaign software and stuff like that, and just really trying to get him in office. But the thing is, we need more people that think just like us. And there might be some of y'all in here at some point. We got to run for office, because it's an existential threat for us. This whole immigration, it's like, but anyway, I don't want to get too hyped up. So I'm trying to chill and meditate these days. But y'all feel me.
And by the way, let me show you the difference between white immigrants and black immigrants. In New York City, white immigrants, the Italians, they link up with the Americans and pick up their agenda. So when you go to Italian neighborhood, you see the Italian flag with the American flag. So they pick up what the Americans is on, their type of time and their agenda. Black immigrants come here, you guys don't pick up, and I'm talking about myself because y'all already know my situation. They don't pick up what Black Americans are doing. They don't pick up Black Americans' agenda. They pick up white supremacy's agenda.
That's a good point, brother.
Yeah, white immigrants, they pick up white supremacy's agenda. You see the Italian flag, you see the American flag right next to it. You see the Ukraine flag, you see the American flag right next to it. You see the Russian flag, you see the American flag right next to it, because they collide with each other and pick up the same agenda. They don't veer off and go pick up another agenda. Black immigrants come here and your ass got a whole other agenda, and that's white supremacy's agenda. I see this with my own eyes. Russian dudes out here in New York City, even California. Tariq Nasheed, when he's talking about the real estate that's going on out there, those Russians, they straight from Russia. If you hear them talk, they got a Russian accent. They speak complete Russian. They act like a Russian. But guess what? Their agenda is the same as the white Americans' agenda. They don't veer off and come up with their own agenda. Black immigrants come here, and these niggas got a whole different agenda. They got a whole different purpose of whatever they want to do. Their main goal is just to live a better life and not make white daddy and white mommy happy. That's their main goal.
Hey, and score brownie points by coming down on us. Because they all know if you come down on FBA, then the dominant society is going to give them a little pat on the ass. So a lot of them try to assimilate. That's why I call it immigrant supremacy. It's immigrant supremacy because it's an off-brand version of what the dominant society does. They come to us and they got the same vitriol, the same hate, the same disrespect, the same downplaying for us. I'm talking about from our past, our history to us today. A lot of these times when we see these young black folks that are getting harmed out here, a lot of times these are from race soldiers that aren't even from America. These are immigrant race soldiers. I mean, if you literally just attach illegal immigration to everything that has something to do with white supremacy, it'll fit. You could say immigrant supremacy, immigrant race soldier, immigrant anti-black racism. It just goes. It fits so good because they come over here with smoke for us and, for no one else. And quote to what Brother Nas said, there's so many nuances that don't even get talked about. There's people on my timeline that I actually follow them that are very intelligent about this subject, and they give me more facts than you'll ever see on the news, because it's almost like they swipe it and they always got to present this BS agenda. But if you really look and you follow the right people, you can see what's really going on. Half the things that happen with illegal immigration, the average person does not even know. You got to be someone who is real thorough and you study it real deep, and you find out that California is spending $10 billion annually. Do you see that America's spending $300 billion annually? It's going to go up over $1 trillion. Donald Trump called out a lot of these things, but black folks didn't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this is hidden stuff that they sweep underneath the rug so they can bring over these immigrant supremacists so they can practice immigrant supremacy on FBAs. Go ahead, Brother Tim, and then Bobo.
Right before Tim go, I want to make this point because you actually raised a good point, Black Alpha. In New York City, all the immigrants get the worst of the worst jobs. In New York City, all the people who give out tickets for cars are immigrants. Indians, Jamaicans, Africans. That's the worst of the worst job. Nobody wants to give out tickets because once somebody catch you giving them a ticket, they gonna curse your ass out. Nobody want to be a ticket person. I barely see black Americans giving out tickets. That's the worst of the worst job. You don't want that job because you're gonna get cursed out about 15 times a day. All the immigrants, they love it. Black police officers in not even black police officers in New York City, police officers period in New York City, most of them are immigrants. I had mentors of mine that were immigrants and became police officers, and most of them are immigrants. African. Here's I'm gonna drop a bomb on y'all right now. In New York City, most of the nannies that take care of white people children are African. 99.9%. I'm going to say that again. 99.9% of the nannies for white people in New York City are Africans. This is facts. Go to the best neighborhoods in New York City, in Brooklyn, Park Slope, Brooklyn Heights, Borum Hill. What are you going to see? You're going to see an African woman moving around a white child in a stroller. They know Black Americans ain't about to be no mammy. That is the definition of a mammy. They know we're not. Is it a mammy or I don't remember the word, but that is the definition of Black Alpha. What's the word for that?
Yeah, that's a mammy, brother. You had it. You hit it right.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's the definition of a mammy. That grinds my soul seeing Africans move around with white children in New York City getting paid fucking $15 an hour to take care of this dirty ass child with his dirty ass sneakers on, talking about mommy. I hate that. But guess who got those jobs? Black immigrants. Go ahead, Tim Sim. Then we got Volvo, and then back to Nas.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to agree with Rich. What Rich said, it's the same way here in my city. You know, in most of the white neighborhoods, if you go to those white neighborhoods, they're all the white nannies are African immigrants. And, you know, most of the people who you run into who actually have those nannies and stuff like that, they practice racism like you wouldn't want to believe, even though they have somebody in their home who actually is Black. Not saying that they'll act Black, you know, so just kind of think about that. So that means that the Black person that they have around them from the continent is either pretty oblivious to racism, ignores it, doesn't acknowledge it, or just allows a lot of things to happen. So kind of think about that. But also in speaking, I'm kind of in agreement on a lot of stuff that Nas said about the, I would call it illegal aliens, you know, so I'm in agreement with that. But also when I made the point about the student loan stuff, I was just running a comparison about, how quick they are to give the check for certain groups as opposed to everybody else. You know, this money for anything that's dealing with illegal immigration is kind of flowing with things where for taxpayers, you can't seem to get it. So I just kind of use that as a parallel. I really don't give a fuck about student loan debt either. So that's kind of another thing. Also, another point Nas made that was good. For the cameras, you know, they actually showed a lot of the Haitians going back in the airplanes. You know, that's what we saw. But it was a fact what he said. But quite a few of them actually were released into the country. So, like I stated before, the Department of Homeland Security, you know, they set these people up. They let a certain group in. You know, right now they have people still staying in Airbnbs, hotels, receiving maybe $5,000 and $6,000 a month and monthly checks. You know, free money, taxpayer money. While we can't get anything. You know, while things are going up, this and that. Again, that's another parallel I'm making. You know, not to say it's a talking point or anything, but just running a comparison parallel. You know, between that and a lot of those people were actually supposed to show up for court hearings so they can like apply for citizenship status and stuff like that. But 250,000 just walked off into America. Again, another point I agree with what Nas said, and I'll end it right there.
And Nas actually raised a good point. Student loans, that is a goddamn trick bag. Half of Black people ain't even gonna pay that shit back anyway. Let's keep it 100. We ain't even gonna pay that shit back anyway. The other half, they gonna pay that shit as slow as possible until they hit another lick. That's a damn fact. Half of Black people ain't about to pay their student loans back. They can't afford that shit. And the other half, they're gonna pay it back as slow as possible. So until they run into their next lick.
And another trick bag that we don't know about, like, because when I used to work for the county, you know, of how they have all, like I say, they have, you know, like, again, going back to what Alpha's point when he made about the translators, you know, they provide them with all the people to hold their hand, so to speak, to show them where the programs are, how to apply for things. If they can't speak English, how to fill out paperwork. They even I remember a couple years ago, they had a program in Virginia when they had a bunch of, Hispanic illegals where they had a homeowners association or some type of thing, but they were helping them get homes. So that was kind of, I thought that was just really crazy. And just working in the system to see so much of the free stuff they can get without even having a social security card is just amazing.
And let me make this point too, right? Let me, a perfect example. If I had student loans right now and I had 40,000 worth of student loans, and let's say Joe Biden cleared my student loans along with everybody else's, how is that helping me when I never even had the 40 in the first place? and I was never gonna have it. I was never gonna have that 40. So how is that helping me? I was never gonna pay that back. I don't got it. So it's not like you helped me. Like I was paying. Like I was actually paying off. I ain't got this shit anyway. So you was gonna get the money anyway. So you didn't help me. You didn't help me at all. I never had it. Now if I had it and I was paying it back, that's a different story. Because now you saved me that 40 that's in my bank account right now. But I don't even got the 40. So you didn't even help me do nothing. You didn't move the needle for me. That shit was gonna be right there. Then that 400, that 4000 was gonna be right there whether you paid it or not. Cause I ain't got it. Vovo, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the room again. Calling ICE is definitely patriotic. Something that most people not talking about what's going on in this country is this fentanyl shit coming over the border. Now I'm from Ohio. It's an epidemic in Ohio. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm from Ohio too, brother.
Where you from, bro?
Toledo.
Oh, all right, yeah, you right down the road, yeah.
Hey, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know somebody who just OD'd about a week ago, but go ahead, fam.
Yeah, it's every day. They just dropping like flies. And it was never like this before. I grew up in the street, you know what I mean, dealing with drugs. Crackheads wasn't dying. That was like the number one drug when I was growing up. Crackhead. My uncle smoked crack. He's 70 years old. He been smoking crack since crack came out. That nigga old. He lost all his teeth and shit. He can't hear, but he's still alive. He's still smoking crack. Ain't nothing wrong with him. Now this fentanyl shit, that shit is poison. That shit is everywhere. Now they putting this shit in the crack and they putting it in weed. Ain't nobody ever overdosed off no weed. Ain't no crackhead ever overdosed. You know what I'm saying? They got the police out here dying from pulling a bag of fentanyl out somebody's pocket. This shit all on the money and everything. That shit is poison. That is poison. That's another reason why we need to get that border closed. And it's really what I want to say. The Republicans, they really want that fentanyl shit to stop coming over the border because now they children starting to die. You know what I'm saying? Drug addicts back in the day wasn't dying at no 19, 20 years old. You know, now they kids starting to die and shit like that. It's starting to hit them. Now shit, I'm starting to see, like I grew up in a segregated neighborhood. I grew up in a red line neighborhood. You niggas stay over there and you niggas take this crack with you. And y'all stay over there and it's the ghetto. Now I'm starting to see young white kids walking around the ghetto and they like every other crackhead around here. They a crack monster now. They're 19, 20 years old, walking around the hood. Where you come from? What is you doing over here? Where you from? Oh, I'm from North Homestead. That's a suburb of Cleveland. I'm from North Homestead. What you doing around here? He got stuck. He got stuck in the hood. You know what I mean? Fucking with that fentanyl. So because you got to understand that down there on the southern border, them Mexicans and all that, they got border experts. The border experts that don't even want to cross the border. They just want to push anything they can over the border. They could have been crossed the border and been a part of America. They don't want to. They don't care about coming to America. They border experts. They know how to bring people, drugs, and people and drugs across the border, and they know how to get guns and money back to the Mexico side of the border. So if they can bring all these people in and flood us with all these illegals, it's hard to get a human being over the border. A human being, you got to feed him. He got to drink. He get hot. He get cold. A bag of drugs don't got no brain. It's easy to get a bag of drugs over the border if you can get all these people over the border. They flooding the whole country. They got the whole country falling out from fentanyl. And I'm going to leave it right there, y'all. I'm going to drop down the listener. Appreciate y'all.
And by the way, did Tariq Nasheed not say in Texas, Africans got all the CEO jobs? They the ones that are the CEOs out there. Ain't nobody in the planet want to be no black Americans on the planet want to be no damn CEO. That's one of the worst jobs also. Like I said before, this is what they do. Black immigrants, they come here and get the whatever nobody wants. That's what they do. The nannies, the CEOs, the parking tickets. They get the worst of the worst jobs. Whatever.
Let me real fast, bro. even the Mexicans too, though. They got the worst of the worst jobs too. I used to work in Texas. You don't want to be down there picking no watermelons and shit like that, and working in that hot sun and picking those strawberries and all that. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Don't nobody want that job. So we do need if you a rich country, you do need the low skilled worker. You absolutely need the low skilled worker. But we need for you to come the right way. And I say you should stay for 10 years and get yourself together. And if you don't get together after your visa run out, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's tough. Hey man, you ain't make it. Hey man, get the fuck out, man. You know what I'm saying? We gave you a chance, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop down though, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, like they tell us, what they say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They tell us that shit, but they don't tell them. Go ahead, brother Nas.
Yo, we gotta really so I really want y'all to really think about the things that you've been saying. You cannot think about this. Let's say we're on the battlefield. We're in a war, right? There's gonna be jobs that you don't like to do in a war, right? Or you gonna let your enemy come do them jobs on your side? I mean, you think about it. You're in a war, right? You're in a war, right? Somebody got to clean the gun turrets and shit. Somebody got to do all the shit work. But you don't enlist your enemy to do the work that you think is too low or too dirty or too hard. You can't do that. And so I'm like, this is the thing. All the jobs that these people do, Black Americans have done these jobs. All of these jobs. And we need Black Americans to have as many jobs and as many resources as possible. We cannot mentally defeat ourselves saying that, oh, this job is this or that job is that. Let's say some of these jobs that y'all say is the low, right? Maybe those jobs are stepping stone jobs for Black kids in high school. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's their starter job, okay? Because, I mean, think about it. Most kind of rough jobs are usually a younger person might do them. But, hey, maybe somebody who can't make ends meet, maybe they're willing to do that job, too. The fact of the matter is every job that we have in America has been done by Black Americans. I mean, our ancestors was doing all that field work. And some Black people still do that work today. But guess what? They've been pushed out by the illegal alien Latinos. What normally happens is, and other immigrants, illegal immigrants, and some of them are, what do you call it, though, when they have the visa status, non-citizens. I say the non-citizen visa, whatever the fuck, loophole people. But what happens when they come in, they will push the Black Americans out of work first. And if you go to EEOC.gov, you see where they have all those filings. And then after that, because the white people probably think they safe, then they push the white people out of the farming jobs. And so now if you go to the EOC.gov, you see Black Americans and white Americans filing lawsuits to try and stop this. There is no job that an American citizen won't do. There's no job that a Black American won't do. We cannot allow to give we can't let these people get 1 inch on us because they waiting for y'all to go out there in the public and say, well, somebody got to do them jobs. I mean, that's some hard work. You know what I mean? For you to you might as well just sign your own genocide. Because, like, for example, when in the tech world, right now, what's happening, it's the same thing with, in the farming. They're giving all the jobs that people say are low jobs. Those are stepping stone jobs, entry level. They're giving all the entry level jobs in tech to foreigners, just like they're giving all those, whatever jobs that y'all were talking about to all these foreigners. So guess what? So let's say you're a Black child. Oh, well, Black young adult, you trying to get a job. Oh, all my elders and other people older than me said that, we shouldn't have these jobs. They gave them to the illegals. Now, what they gonna do? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about every young Black man and woman and then you sit up there and co-sign giving jobs to all these other people. Where are those Black people gonna go? They don't have nowhere to go. Maybe a life of crime. Maybe on the street. Maybe selling some, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be in a bad spot. We can't afford to give anybody anything. We're in a war. I need people to remember that. I'm not saying that these jobs are glorious or whatever, but I tell you right now, I never met a Black American that wouldn't work a job. Black Americans work all jobs. Like when I was growing up, I was at the Catholic school, and I remember, some of my favorite people, I always talk to people because my parents were working class. So I talk to all people, right? Some of the people I was always cool with, no matter what school I was at, whether it's college or would be the janitors. You know what I'm saying? The Black janitors, man, them boys was cool. Them women and the men. And they would know everything that went on in that building, bro. I was cool with them. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I look like talking about, that's some lowly work. Let's give it to Jesus. Let's give it to Unte. Fuck that, okay? Fuck that shit. If you can't go clean no goddamn toilets, go find a younger person who needs some money. They'll do it. Don't give that job to no non-citizen, illegal alien, economic migrant, fake asylum seeker. Do not give any jobs or resources to them. I really want people to put that in their brain, okay? If you don't believe me, go ask some old ass black people and ask them what kind of work they did. Shit, my dad was cleaning toilets when he worked at, he'd be a manager and still cleaning toilets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bruh, like y'all know how I get a little out of control.
And by the way, I agree with you 100%. But here's the difference between a black American getting one of those jobs and a immigrant, an illegal immigrant getting that job. When illegal immigrants get that job, they smile in front of white people and be like, "Oh yes, thank you for this job." When black Americans get this job, they're like, "Listen, I'm gonna be at this job for 6 months to a year, and I'm about to get a better job, and I'm gonna just use this as a stepping stone." Because like you said, when I was young, I worked at the barbershop. I was sweeping the floors at 10, 11 years old. They was barely paying me, but I was happy to do it. I'm like, you know what? They feeding me food. They paying me this little bit of money. I'm getting game from older folks. They telling me to go get my CDL. They telling me to go be a truck driver. I'm like, oh hell yeah! I don't give a damn if you paying me $10. Go ahead. You feeding me? I'm outside the house. I don't got to be in front of my parents. I don't got to be in front of any adults. I'm with y'all. Y'all having grown men conversation. Oh hell yeah! Give me this $10. So I agree with you 100%. There's a section in our community that deserve those jobs. If you up and coming, yeah, go get that job. Go do that. And you need that. You need to have those experiences. You need to have those experiences where it was shitty. You need those experiences. I don't believe in skipping steps. I don't believe that at all. But what I do know is that when black immigrants get it, they don't know the context of it. Like when you speak to an African immigrant and you tell them like, yo, bro, you over here holding a white child's a white person's baby, they don't know the context that, listen, in slavery they did the same thing. You know that, right? They don't get the gist of that. So they're smiling and having a good time, and you over here as a black American or as a B1, you looking at them like, God damn, why are you over here smiling about this job? Like, you should be serious, you should be focused, and your goal should be to get out of this job, go get a better job. But they're over here and they're just smiling because they have no context to it. They don't understand. They don't take the time out to understand what black women were doing during slavery. They were taking care of white children. I hate seeing black immigrants do that with a smile on their face. I hate that with a passion. So Nas, I agree with you 100%. We all need all of those jobs. Because think about it. In ATL, they got the water boys out there. Those kids are dying for a job. And all these celebrities are over here giving them $100, $50, $20 instead of giving them a damn opportunity. Do you think white folks would be out there supporting the water boys, or do you think white folks will be giving them a damn opportunity? I hate seeing the water boys out there in Atlanta and not one black person. We talking about multi-millionaire black people, Rick Ross, T.I., Boozy, and you can't even give those kids an opportunity. Those kids are showing you they have ambition. They're showing you they're hungry. If you could stand out there and sell water at that age, when I was that age, I was doing the same thing. I was working in the barbershop. And you can't give them an opportunity. So you're 100% right. The youngins, yeah, they deserve the opportunity. The older folks, hey, if you want to come up, go do those jobs. But understand the context of it. Go ahead.
Hey, bro, real quick, that's a good point. And you know what, Brother Nas, you raised a real good point. And I've always said that to people for years. That thing that black Americans don't want to work the jobs, that is no different than the term black and brown coalition, people of color. That is a democratic term. That's a democratic statement that was created to make people think that these folks are doing something that we don't want. So that was their alibi, their excuse, and their justification for providing these people these jobs that should go to us. We are all black folks. We know we got maintenance men, construction workers, cashiers. We came from out the mud. We did it from the bottom, grassroots. And then I always explain this to people. How do you explain the South, which I believe is like 64% of black people? There's not even a high population of Hispanics in the South. How do you explain all the jobs that are getting done there? They're getting done by black people. So that shows you that we're active and we're out there really doing these jobs. You can go to Mississippi. Mississippi doesn't have a lot of Hispanics. Mississippi doesn't have a lot of Africans. Those are foundational Black Americans. Alabama, Georgia. I know in Georgia, straight up. Being in Georgia, I see all the time. These are Black people that are out here doing those hard working jobs before Hispanics even showed up. So that is a straight up lie. They're lying through their teeth when they say things like, we won't do the jobs. That's just an alibi for them to provide illegals an opportunity to come here and to elevate them above FBAs. Go ahead, brother Nas, Tim, and then the next brother, shut up.
Yeah, I wanted to say real quick, because I'll get through these points in a more chill way. I was going to say that when, even though I don't care what color an immigrant is, I want y'all to think about this for a second. If you think about it, Black immigrants in mass would be worse. And not that I'm saying, I don't care. I don't want any immigrants here at all, right? I want it to stop. Illegal, otherwise, whatever. But the thing is, the reason why I say Black immigrants in mass are worse is because they are used against us in politics. They are used by the Democrats. They are used by the Republicans. And then when they commit crime in some of these major cities, they pin the crimes on us. You know what I'm saying? So you see what I'm saying? You see how, you have to think of anything that Democrats push out there, like, oh, yeah, look, the Black immigrants, they Black like us. Look, they beating them like Massa beat us. Anything that they push out on us, is poison. Any talking point. So you got to, and unfortunately for a lot of our Black people, they just open their mouth and the Democrats just put it in their mouth. They just swallow it. You know what I'm saying? And then they just regurgitate that nonsense in the community, talking about they Black like us. Nigga, I don't give a damn if they Black like us. That's our enemy, man. It don't matter what uniform our enemy is wearing. They are still our enemy. But the other thing I wanted to say was, to your point about the South, yes, the South is mostly Black. However, I want y'all to understand what's happening to us in the South that even I haven't had a chance to get a hold of because, we so focused on national stuff and select places. There's all kind of stuff happening behind our backs. In Louisiana, they flooding us with illegals too. They flooding us. In Mississippi and all these other southern states, they flooding them too. I was talking to a woman a couple weeks ago, and I was trying to get her to film a video because she literally experienced it firsthand. Like, they pushed all of them out of work, and it never made national news. See, a lot of the stuff that's happening to us, it's on a local news level. So I think one thing we have to remember, if we want to stop what's happening, I want y'all to start monitoring your local news in your state. And as soon as you see a story where the illegals are flooding your state, share that online. We amplify it because I got to do it for my own state, Louisiana. I haven't had a chance. And actually just trying to wrap my mind around how many things they're trying to do. New Orleans, I think, is a sanctuary city. And on top of that, we have a couple ICE facilities where they store them. But for the most part, bro, these people are, even though, like you said, most of the jobs in the South being done by Black Americans, they are flooding the illegals in. Like in New Orleans, they blocked the Black Americans, if y'all remember, from doing the rebuilding of New Orleans after Katrina. They let all the white firms and Latino-owned firms and employ illegal aliens do all that work to the point where the Black Americans who were from New Orleans and in Louisiana, grown men I heard were out there crying. They were so upset that they couldn't help rebuild. They blocked them niggas out, man. They blocked them out, bro. Everybody coming to eat, they taking from us, man. They taking from us. And there's something else I wanted to say. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I remember someone made a comment about if you had the money for student loans and then they cancel student loan debt, you'd have that money. True. But think about this, right? How many white Americans have inheritance? I know a couple white Americans that are older and the inheritance. I know one lady, she got $400,000 twice. I know another lady who had a bunch of land and then she kind of like fumbled the land or whatever. And then later on, she got a $450,000 check. So the thing is, even if you were to take all that student loan debt away, guess what? In this race for resources, the Black person is still at a disadvantage. They're still at a disadvantage, so that's why I don't use any political energy on some student loan debt or anything the Democrats push out. I don't waste my energy on it. It's a trick bag and it's worthless. I was on Facebook the other day and someone had posted about how she was like, why is Biden talking to the Hispanic caucus about student loan debt? And it clicked in my mind because someone else on Twitter had posted a screenshot showing who was in college, and then thinking about what we know about Hispanics and how they label themselves white. So basically, some of them people that are white might be Hispanic, but the fact of the matter is Biden is with them because he knows it benefits them. It don't benefit us. So anyway, I think that was everything. Wait, That was everything I wanted to say. That was everything. Fentanyl and the open borders. The one thing I was going to say about that is, it's so sad that, right now the Democrats are pushing this whole weed narrative. Look, I like to smoke weed. It's cool and everything, but I don't smoke it that often. And based on everything I've seen in the last couple of years, if I'm going to be smoking it, it's got to come from a trusted source, or I'm going to grow the shit myself or buy from a legitimate, dispensary. Because it's like right now they're going to say, because I saw a guy in the store. He was talking about Gary Chambers, and all he knows is, man, you saw that bro smoke some weed? Man, I'm just like, nigga. I said, have you been to MarcelForCongress.com? And he hadn't been to MarcelForCongress.com, but he know about Gary Chambers smoking weed. So imagine all the Negroes, they're going to say, okay, you want to smoke weed, Negro? Hell yeah, I love weed, man. I love Snoop Dogg weed and all that. They're going to vote for that. And at the same time, because they're not closing the border, the fentanyl gonna be in all the weed, and all them niggas most of them niggas just gonna die, bro. I mean, it's fucked up, bro. I hate to be like it's dark, bro, but seriously, bro, it's like that, bro. It's anyway.
Bro,
All right, yeah.
I read that play about 5-6 years ago. Soon as they started saying, "Oh, in New York City we're about to legalize weed," I read that play. I'm like, okay, I already know what is about to go down. They about to give these niggas weed. These niggas about to sit on the couch, smoke weed till their eyes is red. They're not about to do nothing. They're about to put a whole bunch of chemicals in the weed. I read that play 6 years ago. I'm like, okay, I already know what they about to do. Negroes about to be excited. Weed is about to be legal. They about to be all in the streets smoking weed. They about to go to work late. They about to eat all their kids' food up. I already know the play. Remember, guys, white supremacy weaponizes everything. Everything. If weed was illegal for 40, 50 years and now they're making it legal, obviously they have an agenda and they haven't been telling you about the agenda. So your job is to come up with what is the agenda? What is the agenda behind legalizing weed? White supremacy don't just do stuff just to do it. What is the agenda? Okay, the agenda is, let's get these Negroes high. Let's make sure they're not focused. Let's make sure they're late for work. Let's make sure they eat up all the food in the fridge. Weed doesn't how does weed benefit black people? How does it benefit you? I can't name one thing that helps you when you smoke weed. What does it help you do? We got all these black people that are smoking weed, but nobody has come up with a great plan after smoking some Zaza, whatever they call it. Nobody came up with a good plan after smoking it. Go ahead, Timson.
Hey, what both Nas and Rich both spoke about is what I often hashtag a lot of times, and I call it a Welsing moment, which we get from Gus T. Renegade of the Cows. Dr. Welsing was down with this, identifying the weed trap. Some of her words were, they want to legalize weed but close schools. They want to legalize weed but make it hard for a person to prove discrimination on a job. They want to legalize weed, and the average black person can't be believed for most of the things that happen to them on the camera. So that's my feelings on weed. I'm down here in Maryland, and I can tell you for a fact that the fentanyl is in the weed, but it hasn't just been fentanyl. It's been other things way before that. So I kind of, again, Dr. Welsing says, why would you want to be smoking weed when even today you don't know what they're putting in it? It's being genetically modified. I'm here in the state of CRISPR, the technology where they alter genes. They do the same thing to plants and stuff like that too. So that's weed. But what I really want to get into is, one of the aspects of this immigration thing is that we had talked about something that Nas pulled out about, we talking about how about the jobs that black people would always work. We worked every single job. There's that famous saying, black people became lazy until they until they started paying us. Then we got lazy, or however it goes. But everybody know what I'm talking about. But remember, we had a time where we knew every job, every profession. We worked everything, but once we actually got a chance to get in those positions, we were still paid low. Then when the union stuff came along, we still had these things where you actually work with people. You would actually be the better worker. You would end up training a white guy that they just pulled off the street. And 5 weeks, like a week, 5 or 3 weeks later, he's your boss. That's still going on today. I've actually done that 3-4 years ago. I trained a bunch of white guys, and they all went up above me. So I kind of like let them sit in their own shit by not assisting them. That's the one thing you could do in the system of racism, white supremacy, when you come to things like this, is by not helping them. Just kind of stick to yourself and do things like that. But again, getting back to this illegal immigration thing, we have a lot of these illegals are taking jobs where, again, these industries, for corn and, chickens and stuff like that. They used to, you would think at those places like that, you would make a lot of money. You would think you would make like 17. They would start at 20. Half those places are starting like at $9 and different things like that. You can't live off that type of money. But these people, this is what they do. They get together, they go to their enclaves, and they can survive because they have their own stores. They have their own markets, their own communities and neighborhoods. With us is a different thing.
And
so you kind of, my bad, Rich.
Go ahead. Finish off. Go ahead.
No, I was going to end it up right there, but I was just trying to say, just kind of think of it like that. There isn't a job that we don't want to work. So we just thought, these industries, some of these industries are $1 billion industries. They just want to look how long it actually, even though the dude that just got the he just got the union for Walmart. Even though that dude is funny style, look how long it actually took to actually get a union in Walmart. So just kind of think about stuff like that, and I end it right there.
And by the way, these folks are on the come up. Illegal immigrants, they're on the come up. So when they get these low wage jobs, you think they want to stay there? They going up. The sky is the limit. So they're going to the next floor up, the next step up. So they're not just gonna stay where they are. They're coming for you. Whatever position you in, that's where they want to be. They want to come up. Whenever you want to come up, that means you're working your way up, not down. And another thing, with weed, man, my whole neighborhood is smoked out. I know dudes that they're alive, but they're dead because they smoked the wrong pack, and they have not been the same since. And I'm sure all of you guys can attest to this. All in every neighborhood, there's a group of dudes that you grew up with, and they're smoked out. Stay away from the weed, the liquor, stay away from the mollies, the pills, stay away from all of that, man. White supremacy weaponizes everything. They legalize weed. There's an agenda behind that. They're not about to give you something that's good for you. They're going to throw something in there that's going to throw your ass off. It's not just going to be all goody two-shoe and you high and you having a good time and you got your snacks, your munchies, and you just enjoying life. No, there's a twist. There's a plot twist somewhere. It's coming.
Hey, that's a good point, brother.
Rich. Oh, my bad.
I'm gonna chime in real quick, brother. That's a good point. Think about it. That's what you do in war. In war, you keep things foggy and you keep your enemy, inebriated. You keep your enemy messed up. That's what happened in World War II. They would keep the Germans real twisted up by giving them a bunch of drugs and having them, gone so they're not in their right mind. They would love nothing more than be seeing 48 million FBAs who are zombies. That's what they want. They want us to be zombies like that. Muhammad Ali said it best in terms of how you're talking about how they legalized marijuana now for a reason. Muhammad Ali always gave a good example. He said if he's on a boat and all of a sudden the white, the white crew comes down to him and tells him, hey, go ahead. You can go ahead and, captain the ship now. He said there's got to be something wrong with this ship and this ship must be sinking. And that's exactly what it is. So they'll never do anything and give you any type of power or any type of advancement unless they got something in the backhand to, to get you off your balance or whatever. I want to make another point as well about illegal immigration that a lot of people don't talk about. And that's, and you made a point, Tim, and it's a good metaphor, actually. The way that you train somebody on the job to take someone else's job, that's really what they're doing in terms of the whole country. They're really just training our replacements. That's what the white supremacist society, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, red, blue. They're just trying to train our replacement. That's what they're up to right now. And they've been on it since, as you were saying, Rich, Neely Fuller and Dr. Claude Anderson were telling black folks this stuff in the 80s, in the late 70s. So all they're doing is they're training our replacements, and they're going to use us basically to vote. So anytime a black person is voting Democrat or getting behind any type of immigration legislation, the DACA Act, all that bullshit, anytime you're getting behind that, all you're doing is training your replacement. And these people are going to do it, and they're going to do it with a smile. But go ahead, Tim.
Right before Tim goes, by the way, with all that being said, We got Negroes talking about you're a snitch if you call ICE. We got Negroes talking about you're a snitch if you call ICE. After all that we just said this last hour, you got Negroes talking about you're a snitch if you call ICE. Timson, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I want to be quick because I want to respect the hands that are up. Just to throw, since we kind of down this avenue and talking about the weed thing, being here in the state of Maryland a couple years ago, they did a story here about the water table here in the Maryland, or rather they call it the watershed, or where, you know, water flows from the highest point down to like rivers and streams like that. In one area here called the Heron Run, there was so much fentanyl in the water that, you know, it was killing the fish. It was changing the nature of, you know, how the different species and stuff like that went. This is because of the, you know, the amount of fentanyl that the people in that area were smoking. Plus, it was already in the weed then. This was even before it was a big thing. Start killing the white folks. So kind of I just wanted to throw that quick story out there. And also on the immigration front, one other thing, another illegal alien that we seem to forget are the Asians. You know, now a lot of people would think that, you know, this fentanyl stuff is coming, you know, even though it is coming from Mexico, a lot of that stuff is being made by the Asians coming through Mexico. So think about that.
That's a damn good point. Just like California with the Russians, man. It seems like every single group has some immigrant representation here in this country, and black folks focus on one or two of them when there's a plethora. Go ahead. I think it says shut up and then MDV.
Yo, what's up, fellas? What's up, Nas, everybody? I about that fentanyl, man. You know, here's my thoughts, and I would say everybody look at this. If you see some of your old homies in the neighborhood, and you know, man, like man, dude wasn't never, you know, he wasn't never on no crack or no nothing like that, man, and he's done got thrown off. Man, it's something's in the weed now. You'd be like, yeah, he smoked some weed, and you know, everybody was puffing, and man, like what happened to him? Man, he got a hold to some bad weed, and that's just it. You know, it didn't kill him out, but it definitely did something to his brain, and I got two homies specifically that I think about that we all still talk about that to this day. Like nobody remembering doing no crack or nothing, you know. So I'm a '90s era. I will say this, that I believe with this immigration thing that you know, they say from the late '90s through 2010, that decade brought in a so much immigration was coming through America, and that it was one of probably the largest decade in our time. And with the jobs and stuff like what Nas was talking about, you got to remember, man, all of that was the crack cocaine era. So they was building private prisons, going crazy, man. And who was getting locked up? Young black brothers. And you taking a couple of million brothers out of the workforce. And what were you replacing them with? You were replacing them with that immigration to replace them in working. You got a lot right here in Tennessee by Kentucky. You got a lot, I mean, heavy fields of corn and tobacco and beans and stuff. And man, them Mexicans come over and work in them fields. And as soon as they can find a way to get in the Tyson chicken factories, there's a whole lot of big warehouses around through here. If they can get in them factories and stuff, that's where they go. But here's the thing: those cash crops that are being grown out there are never gonna stop. So they're gonna keep fueling the immigration to keep those cash crops going, which is still their fuel for America, like it was back in the slavery days with tobacco, cotton, and all that stuff. So they keep them coming in and pushing them through the fields, and they ain't making no little money out there when they doing harvesting that stuff up, man. Them Mexicans and stuff is out there making $1,200 a week, out there while they live in and they house them and everything. But as soon as they can get into one of these warehouses and get themselves dug into the neighborhood, they do that too. And then the next groups come in, and the next group comes in, and that's the way that thing going. This immigration thing is about a corporate America situation. It's about how they fuel their system of
So what does that
finance
mean?
in America. Now, I'm not. It's calling ICE patriotic. Listen, I'm at a point now. I can't call ICE. That's just me. You know, I'm not I'm not about to call them. I ain't about to tell you all what to do and whether it's how it looks and all that stuff. I can't do it if that's just me though. That's just me. That ain't got nothing to do with. That's an individual thing for me. But I do agree with everything you all are saying
Yeah,
from the
because
immigration perspective.
shut up. Yesterday, I believe you were in the chat and you're calling that snitching if someone calls ICE. Am I mistaken?
No, you're not mistaken, because that was the name of that was the hot topic, and it was the name of the space. So of course that name was gonna jog a thought, and it was gonna push the algorithms. That's just the play part on how you work social media and work Twitter. But I'm not dogmatic in my stance. It's just I can't do it. And when I'm thinking
Okay,
about it,
but
I'm just
okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Whether you can do it or not, I'm not. I don't tell anybody what to do. I don't suggest anybody to do anything. But you can't tell civilians that they're snitches if they call ICE. A snitch is someone who commits a crime with someone, and then when the authorities approach him, you snitch on the person you did the crime with. A person who goes to work every day and doesn't commit crimes is not a snitch. I'm with you on not doing it. If that's your personal preference, that's okay. But okay, honey badger, brother, I told you stop interrupting people when they're speaking. Next time you do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove you from speaking. Stop interrupting people. I don't need your backup voice. Thank you.
Man, listen, bro. You're a young kid, man. Shut the fuck up. Get me out of here. The fuck.
You got these dusty old niggas. Okay, shut up. You got to mute your mic, brother. Mute your mic.
Hey, that man got salty. hey, he got mad, Rich.
Yeah, these I don't know what it be with these middle-aged dudes, man. Like, come on, dude. Like you supposed to be having you supposed to have it wrapped up already. Your life's supposed to be set. I'm telling you stop. I'm telling you stop interrupting people when they're speaking. I told this dude that when the Twitter space started, he kept interrupting us. I'm like, stop interrupting people, and he's continuing to do it. When there's literally a line here for people to speak. So you want to skip over people that was here before you. That's not how it works, dude. You're an old ass dude and don't even know how to follow simple directions.
Hey, yeah, his mama should have taught him that, man, a long time ago. He can get his ass on up out of here. Go ahead, shut up. Go ahead, continue your stuff. Hold on, before you go, shut up. I got a question for you. You named a lot of reasons. You named a lot of reasons why immigration is bad in this country. You named a lot of reasons why they harm us, but yet you still feel the need to not want to call on these people. Why are you being prevented, and what is stopping you from, calling out something that you know? And I can't say calling out because you're calling it out. What's stopping you from creating action of stopping it when you know that it's bad?
Man,
do you feel sympathy from them?
No.
Do you feel like a sympathy? Like, do you feel that you're not doing it? Do you feel there's some type of, connection between us as minorities or people of color? Because usually when people stop at the fence and they don't want to take action on immigrants, it's because they've been brainwashed. Not saying you're brainwashed, but they've usually been brainwashed into believing that there's some type of commonality and unity amongst us. So I'm just trying to get to the details on why it's bad and it's wrong and it affects us in a negative way, but you don't want to put it into it with your own actions. And that's an honest question, my brother.
I got you. It's good. It's good. I think that it's a bigger, deeper issue in the government, the political part of it. If they wanted to really ring it down and stop it in its tracks, just like they did when them planes ran into the buildings at 911 and they got no plane traffic, nobody could move. COVID, nobody can move around. I think they can do that stuff whenever they feel like it, and if they wanted to stop it, they could. The crack in the ghettos, in our neighborhoods back in the 90s, didn't have to be. They brought the stuff in for a reason, and it's a political play. It's a genocidal play on the Black Americans. So I know they're doing it for a reason. I think they do it to fuel. They let it happen to keep
But
the
brother,
labor market.
he asked you what,
No,
what
I'm
is
getting that. I'm getting that. I'm getting there. And here's my thing: we have a bad shape with the police department. That is in America. It's not.
ICE is not the police. ICE is not the police.
They're, when they come into the neighborhood and get a group up at the house.
Okay, someone muted you by accident, but go ahead.
No, I said when they come to the neighborhood and pull up wherever they at, when ICE come in, they come in heavy. No different than they would come in with a drug bust or something. It's the same look. To me, it's the same. It's the same people. It's just they're different departments of it. And it's hard for me to call a slave catcher on anybody based on how they treat us, how they treated us, and how they doing right now today. It's hard for me to be in communication with anybody like that. Man, I don't even want to call 911 when somebody that's sitting over here in the neighborhood done fell out. I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know how it's gonna turn. And I know that you got to have some security. We live in police states, and every state is a police state.
I got to chime in, brother. I respect that answer, brother. I would just say this, brother. Remind you, they will not do the same for you. Matter of fact, you say you don't want to call a slave catcher on these people. Trust and believe, these people still look at us as slaves. They don't have that same love for us and that same functionality for us. So it's not really snitching. It's not really a humanity thing. These are a lot of things that have been told to us, brother. These people do not care, and they would do it to you just as fast, brother. Trust and believe when I tell you that. But respect your answer, brother. But I appreciate it all day long.
Man, good to talk to y'all. Peace.
All day long. Go ahead, MDV.
Hey, how y'all doing? First of all, to answer the question, is calling ICE patriotic? Oh, most definitely. I lived in California for over 20 years. I moved out of California, and I lived there during the 90s and the 2000s. And I'm telling you, once they get their foothold into a neighborhood, forget about it. They're going to be there. Now, here's the thing about immigration. I think a lot of you guys have missed, even though you make very good points economically, it's really politically when it comes to the Democrats and immigration. See, they brought those people over here because they felt that Black people were not focused on their agenda wholeheartedly, especially Black men. So they brought these people in here as a buffer group, okay? And they were hoping that because the Republicans were totally anti-immigration, that the Hispanics movement that they brought in would be a new vanguard of the Democratic Party. But that's not what's going on. Most of these Hispanics coming in identified with being white, and them identified being, many of them are going to the Republican Party. So this whole thing has backfired on them, okay? And it's going to backfire on them more and more and more. Just wait and see. So that's my point I want to make about immigration. As far as this weed thing, as you guys brought up, if you're using any kind of drugs nowadays, you're a fool, because everything, and it doesn't matter if it's weed or whatever recreational drugs that people are using, it all has fentanyl in it, and it's killing everybody. So if you're smoking weed or whatever you're doing nowadays, man, that's a death sentence, man. So that's all I have to say on that.
And by the way, I consider liquor a goddamn drug also, because liquor has ravished the Black community. We all got a family member that done died, that done got strung off liquor. So I consider liquor a goddamn drug. Even though that thing is legal, I consider it a drug. That shit ravished the black community. I hate seeing Chinese people. I hate seeing any type of person with a liquor store inside of the black community. I hate that with a passion. You selling drugs to our people. I hate that. I'm not supporting. I don't give a damn if it's a black-owned liquor store. I don't support no liquor stores inside the black community. We all got a drunk uncle, a drunk sister, a drunk auntie. That shit ravished us. I don't drink. I don't even drink liquor. I don't drink or smoke. I'm 100% sober. I'm high off life. I don't support liquor either. I hate liquor. I despise that shit.
Man,
Despise it.
brother, that's a good point right there, bro. That's like problem, 157, why immigration and illegal immigration is bad, for America. And like Brother Nas and Tim were saying, I don't even separate immigration from illegal immigration. To me, it's all the same because the mentality is the same. You might have a small pocket here or there of people who are riders and they represent us well, but that's a small, minute percentage. So when you talk about someone who came here legally and went through the right channels versus someone who just hopped over the border, don't they view us the same way? Don't they have the same mentality? Don't they have the same approach to us? So as you're talking about with the drugs, that's like I said, reason number 900 why immigration has a bad effect on our people. And the reason is that they come here and they sell us that poison. They sell us that poison, not to mention all the other areas and aspects where they're trying to harm FBAs financially, education. Like you said, Rich, a lot of those police officers, those are immigrants. And so when you see these statistics about police officers shaking down black folks, these are immigrant police officers. So they're doing the same thing that we associate with the dominant society. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna let you finish cooking because you're on fire. But by the way, these black immigrants in New York City, who do you think was doing the stop and frisk? You know how much times I got stop and frisk as a youth in New York City? Who do you think is doing no stop and frisk? Who do you think? That's black immigrants doing that shit. That's immigrants, illegal immigrants doing that shit. Stopping and frisking. You know how much times I got stop and frisk in New York City, held up for no reason? I'm literally walking. I'm walking home. This when I was young. I'm walking home. I don't got no car. I don't, it's late. The bus is no longer working. I'm walking home. They stopping me for no reason just because I got a hoodie on. Black immigrants doing this shit.
What's the name of our brother that was killed up there in New York by that Asian cop? I forget his name.
Is that a Kai Gurley?
Yes.
Yes. That's to your point right there, brother.
And by the way, I frequent that project. That's East New York. That's the worst neighborhood in Brooklyn. Everybody knows that. It's East New York and Brownsville. They competing. That's East New York projects. I have family members in that projects. That was a Chinese immigrant who killed that black brother.
Mm-hmm. So and then all the people who came and protested on his behalf were immigrants. So you had an immigrant race soldier and then immigrant protesters that supported the immigrant race soldier that killed one of our brothers.
Exactly. And then you got these street dudes talking about, oh, we're living by this code of not snitching. When you have a code, if the code is not benefiting you, why are you following the code? When you follow a code, it's supposed to benefit you and the people that follow it. Not snitching has not benefited nobody. Literally nobody. Everybody who don't snitch is in jail. Let's keep it 100. And by the way, I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in committing crimes and snitching. I don't believe in that. If you commit a crime, I believe in you being responsible for the crime you committed. But if you're picking up the phone as a civilian and calling ICE, that's not snitching. That's a code that you're following. The code is bettering your community. I'm bettering my community by picking up this phone and getting these people out of my neighborhood that's stealing jobs from me, that's siding with the white supremacists. That's a real code that's beneficial. This no snitching thing, that shit hasn't benefited us in hundreds of years. That shit don't do nothing for us. It's some bullshit code. And all the niggas that say they not snitches end up snitching. First 48 is filled with snitches. So-called street dudes. But I'm let the mic keep flowing. Who's next, brother? Or Black Alpha, you wanted to finish your thought?
No, you nailed it for me, brother. Go ahead, Nas, Vovo, Tim.
It was Vovo before me.
Go ahead, brother Vovo.
I just want to say, I heard somebody said they ain't calling the police. I had the phone down to somebody said they ain't calling the police, and some about what was they trying to say that it was snitching if you call ICE or something like that. I kept hearing snitching and all that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of brothers think. You know how it go, man. They be thinking it's snitching to call, police on ICE. Even if you a tax-paying citizen, man, and law-abiding citizen, they still try to use that.
No, it's like it was one of the speakers saying that. What was it? If I'm not mistaken, I was in and out of the room. And I had the phone down. It was one.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you heard right, brother. It was one of the last speakers said he just couldn't call him.
Oh well, he tripping. The title of the room is "Are you a patriot?" If you call ICE, absolutely. I'm. This is our country. We being a patriot is you are a defender of your nation. You're a defender of your country. This is our people. I look at it as we are a nation within a nation. Black America is a nation within a nation. So me calling ICE, I'm defending Black America. They ain't supposed to be here. If it's a group of illegals living across the street from my house, and I know about it, of course I'm calling them. I'm defending my people. I'm defending my nation. I would be, if I don't call ICE, I would be a traitor. In my opinion, I would be a traitor. How am I not going? If it's a pedophile on the street, I don't want them on the street. They handing out these. There's some pedophile around the corner from my house. This sex offender registry shit around the corner from my house. I better not see that nigga around no kids.
Vovo, let me interrupt you real quick. Was it not Cameron that went on 60 Seconds and said that if there was, I believe it was a serial killer or a pedophile next door to him, he would, huh?
Yeah,
that was
Cam. Yeah, that was Cam.
He said if there was a pedophile, or I think it was a pedophile or a serial killer, that if that was his neighbor, he wouldn't call the cops. This is the foolishness these niggas that be coming out these niggas' mouth.
Exactly.
They wanna be street dudes so bad. They wanna get brownie points for being street dudes so bad that a goddamn serial killer's right next to your ass and you not calling the cops.
That's idiotic and that's insane. Ain't no way I'm going. If I know my neighbor making a bomb next door, I'm gonna call the bomb squad. Get him out of here. He would. I mean, like he's hurting the neighborhood. He's hurting the community. Like this is like a no brainer. Like I said, I don't know if somebody shut up. Your mic on.
Hey, mute your mic. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like that's a no brainer. That's a no brainer. Like I said earlier, I'm a tax-paying citizen. I'm a business owner. I own property, cars. I got family. I got shit going. I'm in a comfortable position. I'm living good in America. I'm doing okay. I ain't about to mess that up. And if you trying to threaten that, I gotta defend it. I must defend it. I must defend my people. And that's what ICE for. That's what they for. Them people are cheaters of America. They came to America to cheat. They is cheating the border. They is here illegal. And if we don't defend the border, then what do we got? Everybody defends the border. A basketball player defends the goal. The football player defends the goal line. They don't want you to score a touchdown on them. You supposed to defend what you got. It don't make no sense. It's just stupid. I'm a land there.
Hey, I got a question for you before you go, though. But I ask it after a while.
Shut up. You got to raise your hand if you want to speak, because there's a line.
He said he got a question for me?
Yeah, but you got to raise your hand. Shut up. There's a line. So just raise your hand and.
Yeah, hey, shut up. We'll get to your question in a minute, brother. Let Nas and Tim go.
He can ask it, and then I'll go after he asks his question.
All right, shut up. Hey, make it quick, though, brother.
Yeah. It'd be quick. I mean, how do you really attempt to know who's a illegal immigrant when the big corporations, some kind of way, a lot of them are able to work at the Tyson food plants and the different plants, right? All throughout the South.
I'm gonna answer this question.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
how you find.
And,
This is how
and
you find out. This is how you find out if it's an illegal immigrant or not. I call the ICE, and when they get here, leave me a police report and let me know if they was illegal or not. Let's make this real simple. We call them if they
That's what I
illegal.
was about to say. That's exactly
If
what I was saying.
if they illegal, they'll be out of here in 3 seconds. If they not, they'll be here tomorrow morning. All
It's the
this.
same way if you think your neighbors is doing some illegal activity by gang banging or any other situation, brother. You got to apply the same thing to us that you do to them. But so that's answered. Volvo and Rich, we got that one. Brother Nas, it's on you.
All right. I was gonna ask a question, but I'm gonna save that to the end because sometimes when I ask questions, it distracts people. But I would say that when I was I don't know where I was. No, it was on Twitter somewhere. This is maybe like a couple months ago when we were talking. And I'm just gonna say this real quick about weed, right? So one thing that people say, and I understand this point, they say one benefit of them legalizing weed is that now we won't have so many black men or black people going into jail on lower level drug offenses, right? I get that. And I mean, trust me, I'm cool with that. But they still got people in there right now that they're not getting out. So that's the weird thing. It's like they say, okay, let's legalize it or whatever. And I'm like, all right, okay, we won't have more black people going in. Okay, but then what about all the niggas in there right now? Why y'all ain't getting them out? You know what I'm saying? So, so the thing is,
Hey, hold on, I'm gonna let you speak. But guess what? It's a backhand slap because look, we're gonna let them go, right? And when they go, they're gonna start smoking weed and then lose their mind. So it's a backhand compliment.
oh no, I get that. And what I would say, just about liquor and weed, this is the thing. If you can do anything responsibly and safely, then that's I think that because not everybody's going to be able to cut everything completely, right? So I know some people that they like to drink. Not they overdrink, but they like to drink. Just limit whatever you do so that it doesn't cause your mind. So, for example, I used to smoke a lot of weed when I was younger. Man, but the reason I stopped is because, man, like I felt like I couldn't get stuff done sometimes. Now, some people they say they can get a lot of stuff done, but man, like some of my memories. I feel like I lost some memories, bro. Like I used to smoke like it was crazy. I would just smoke. And so now it's like, but then what happened was once my life kind of like changed because of that, I was like, man, you know what? I got to cut this cold turkey. And I did. And then when I started again, I'd only do it. In a year, I might smoke 1 to 3 times. It's so limited. But some people, they never stopped. And if you have a problem with it, if you're really addicted, you got to get off that shit because if I couldn't imagine doing it so much because you're not going to be able to be as productive as you would be if you were clear headed most of the time. So anyway, but that's not me. Look, like I said, people make their own decisions. And if you're all going to smoke weed, I say this, please, for the love of God, either grow it for yourself or find a solid source that's not laced with fentanyl because we know that a bunch of Negroes are going to keep dropping dead with all these new drugs and weed laced with the fentanyl. That it's already happening. And it's going to be more. So, just stay safe, whatever you do. But then this other thing is, I forget who said this, but the illegals, I read a story maybe like a year ago or something where basically these people, right, they come in here taking all these jobs, that should be with Americans. And guess what? Every so often, one of them get enough resources, they start their own farm. So the thing is, it's not like we just losing a low level job. No. We're losing the upward mobility as well. Because if you think about everything that Black Americans did have before they destroyed it, we were building that stuff on our own because we had the skills to do it and we had the workforce to do it. And then they came and destroyed it. So if you don't even let us in the workforce and we don't even, like how are we going to amass the money to even start businesses? We're not in the workforce, we ain't making no money. And at the moment we don't have reparations. So where the money going to come from if you're going to try to do a little business venture? You can't pool no money together if y'all don't have no money. So like I said, we can't sacrifice any stepping stone, entry level job. We can't sacrifice it. The other thing I was going to say was professional licenses. I don't know if y'all been following this, but in all states where they're pushing multiple illegal immigration and mass immigration proposals, they're also waiving like the fact that you have to be a citizen to acquire a professional license. So if y'all know, like in the medical field, a lot of them elder care facilities and places like that's flooded with people from other countries. So we're losing jobs everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And that's not cool, man. That's not cool. And then the other thing is when we're talking about how they come in and they push us out, right? I was thinking about something really sick, right? I mean, this is like really sick. So imagine, that you owe Black people something. Like, you owe us reparations. You owe us so much. Now, you're not going to win any type of moral or logical battle on trying to fight against reparations. But what if you bring in all these people that will just work with white supremacy? You know what I'm saying? Like they just you don't want, so we don't have to even put down or stop you from getting reparations and have these arguments with you or whatever. We're just gonna bring all these other people, and then they're gonna push you out of work, push you into poverty, push you into prison, push you into crime. So it'll just figure itself out. You know what I'm saying? It'll just figure itself out. And then another thing I want y'all to remember is this. So you're right that the Democrats, they had a plan, or at least multiple plans. I thought it was just a plan to turn them into voters. But I realized when looking at the funding in places like California and Texas, you don't have to turn them into voters to benefit. So basically, get this. So basically, let's say you have a Democratic city or state and you get, I don't know, influx of 1 million illegal aliens, right? Or mass immigrants, whatever. Guess what? Now when you get funding for your state, the funding is based on the amount of people you have in the state. So you put all the niggas in prison, guess what? Same thing. The number of people you have in the state or the county, that's how you get the resources, right? So they put all of us in prison and then bring all these illegals in, and they just it's like a money tree. It's like a money factory. You know what I'm saying? They just money, more money, more money. And then on top of that, if you can legalize them, that's even better for whatever your agenda is. And if you're a person who has a business and you want some cheap labor, you see, they all winning. It's like money on top of money on top of money. And black folks, they don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't know what's going on. Like Black Alpha said, most people don't know what's going on. But I'm just saying, like, okay, let me see what else on my notes. I think I have a few more notes. Hold on, wait. Oh yeah, another thing. The whole slave patrol shit. Them people ain't slaves. So how the fuck are the police the slave patrol? They ain't slaves. These motherfuckers willingly came over here. So let's stop with all this comparative narrative bullshit, right? I just want to let y'all know. We ain't gonna do all that. And then, there was one other, okay, now this is the question I wanted to ask. Let me go back to this. Now, this question is for you, Shut Up and Dribble. Is it true that you have a business that employs illegal aliens? Is that true?
No. What made you say that?
So you're saying that you don't have a business that employs illegal aliens? Okay. I mean, people be telling me things, y'all. I'll tell you right now, when people talk, people be telling me things. I just got to check. And when people start telling me stuff, I got to verify. That's all I just got. Maybe they thought they heard somebody else. I just want to make sure. Okay, so all right.
Hold on. Was that Shut Up and Dribble saying that he wasn't call the police?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure. Because if somebody tell me you employing illegal aliens and then you tell me you feel bad, you don't want to call ICE, I'm like,
No, who said that? Who said they ain't gonna call ICE? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it was Shut Up and Dribble who said that, Vovo.
Not my dog. Shut up and man.
What's up, homie? What's up, big homie? Man, I'm just from the '90s. I'm not.
How old is you?
About.
How old is you?
I'm 43. I'm just not about to call. I'm not about to get into that. I can understand that if you was gonna call maybe on a big corporation or something that's known for hiring illegal immigrants or whatever the case may be, I can get that. But and if that's what you wanted to do, I understand that totally. But I don't get the thing that y'all got going right now, to where you're gonna individually maybe see a Mexican at the store, and you just thinking to yourself, man, they might be illegal. Let me call ICE and tell them.
No, hey, brother. That's false, though. Nobody said we're gonna walk around and just see people minding their own business and do that. That's not true. That's not true. We can't have that. That's not true. No one's saying that. We're saying any type of activity that raises a flag or an eyebrow. So that type of logic right there is how they try to shame us from not doing it. I can't stand for that, brother. No one's saying we're just going to see a 6-year-old walking at the damn lemonade stand and say, well, I'm going to call ICE on her. No. We're not saying that. We're saying any type of activity.
So what kind of situation are you saying? Like you pull up.
Let me explain. Because I know this question is coming. What type of situation should you call ICE in? Okay, I'm gonna explain. Could you mute your mic for 2 seconds? Because I hear noise back there. All right, cool. This is a perfect situation when you call ICE. Like, and this is real life examples. Most these illegal immigrants, these white Hispanics, these dudes ain't respectful towards black people. When you walk inside the store, they don't show any love. They don't show any high regards. Like, you know what? These people are the foundational people of this country. Let me show them respect. These people are the most disrespectful people on earth. You walk inside these stores, they have no respect for you. They don't come to black business and support black businesses. We go to their stores. We in them in New York City, I could say. Black people are in them Hispanic stores. We support the bodegas. The bodegas are run by white Hispanics. We support them. We spend their dollars there. I don't see no white Hispanics in the Jamaican restaurants, in the Black American restaurants, in the Trinidadian restaurants, or whatever black owned businesses we own. They not in there. They don't support us. So whenever a white Hispanic illegal immigrant has an attitude with me, I'm gonna start considering calling ICE, because your ass don't even belong here in the first place, and you over here being disrespectful for no damn reason when you should be paying homage. That's the perfect time for you to call ICE. When there's tension in the air for no goddamn reason, that's the perfect time to call ICE. Now, I'm not about to be walking around just calling ICE on some random white Hispanic. Nah, I'm not gonna do that, because I don't got time for that. I got shit to do. But if I'm minding my business and a white Hispanic is in front of me and there's a situation going on and they giving me an attitude for no goddamn reason, I'm gonna start considering it.
And I'm gonna jump in real quick. On top of that, I used to stay in Texas, and you see the mentality, and you see when someone's doing illegal behavior. It's the same thing with any crime. If someone's peddling drugs, if somebody's doing any type of sex crime, any type of activity that you see, we know what criminality looks like. No one's blind to that. So this notion that we could see criminality all day long, that's why you have things called a neighborhood watch program, where you're watching out for criminal activity. So let's not act like we don't know what's going on when people are acting funny style, people have funny behaviors. I used to live in Georgia, and when they passed that law about you got to have your papers, the lady who lived next door, her grandmama never came outside again. Okay, that's means of calling ICE and being suspicious. All right, so it's the same game. But we're gonna get to some more speakers up in here.
Let me ask you one thing. How do you feel? How do you feel? Like they had the big raid in Mississippi with Tyson Foods, and that's why I keep bringing them up. They had it was more like with Tyson's overall, it was something like 700 illegal immigrants that end up getting arrested. And I put it in Jumbotron. I just don't know if y'all remember that situation. And I talk about it because it's probably it's a plant probably 10, 15 minutes away from where I'm at. Now,
go speed it up, brother. Go ahead. Speed up. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're talking a Fortune 500 company that's doing all of this stuff. And they want these people inside of the place working for them. And I'm just wondering how we fit into doing all that stuff when it seems like corporate America wants it. It's a bigger picture.
I'm gonna say this. Yeah, I'm gonna say this, brother. You're focusing too much on corporate America. Illegal immigration goes from top to bottom, up, down. There's no classism when it comes to immigration or illegal immigration. You're focusing too much on them. There's also people out here on the small level. There's people doing it on the major level, in the corporate world, in the public world, in the social world. So if I were you, I'm just making a suggestion, brother. Don't just focus too much on corporate America, because you got illegal aliens right next door that work 9-to-5 jobs and roofing and maintenance work, and they're doing plenty of crimes. I actually have. I'm gonna send it to somebody if you could put it in the. Like, matter of fact, go ahead and look right now what brother Nas is putting the Jumbotron. You see that type of stuff. The criminal statistics for non-American citizens just came out in the fiscal year of 2022, and it's got it all the way back to 2016, and there's plenty of crimes. So these aren't these major corporations that are just doing it. These are people on the low level and the high level. But go ahead. We're going to pass that up. So.
Right before he goes, shut up. I'm not going to remove you out here. I actually want you here because I want people who disagree to stay. Because I want you to bring your point. So I'm not going to remove you from speaking. We're just going to let the hand speak. And then if you have a question, we'll come back to you. I actually want you to speak. Tim Simmons on you. Just make it real quick because we got a lot.
Yeah. Tim, before you go, anybody who's in the room right now, if you guys can share this right now as we speak, because I want to get this out so everybody sees it, because I'm noticing in this space right now, we're covering a lot of nuances and details that people do not talk about. We talked about the drug aspect, and with illegal immigration, we talked about it from a social aspect. We talked about it from a lot of areas. So it's not just one thing, a bunch of people jumping over the border. It's about jumping over the border, what they're doing. Brother Nas connected it all the way from the whole system of illegal immigration and how one hand washes the other, and how it's an actual defined machine, and how it pumps out more illegals and is harmful to us. But before Brother Tim goes, I want to bring Brother Marcel in here real quick while he's here, brother. So go ahead, Brother Marcel.
Hey, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to be
very brief, because we had this conversation last night, and all I gotta say is ice, ice, baby, dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Ice, ice, baby. Going back to my childhood, call ice, call them more than twice. I feel that should be a part of the Freeman Code to call ICE. And I don't care if it's a 6-year-old. I don't care if it's a 69-year-old. If you're in this country illegally, you got to go. Because the truth of the matter is, this is not about an individual. This is not about whether you're a nice illegal or bad illegal. This is about the fact that all studies have shown that legal immigration and illegal immigration has a deleterious impact on Black America. Yes, it's been shown that working class white Americans are hurt by legal and illegal immigration as well, but it's very, very minimum. And within a few years, the impact negative on white America is almost invisible. For Black Americans, that is not the case. Illegal immigration and legal immigration correlates with as much as an 80% decrease in wages for Black Americans, as much as a 30% increase in incarceration rates, as much as a 40 to 50% increase in unemployment. That's not even talking about the anti-Blackness. That's not even talking about the crimes. I have children of illegal immigrants, and they are calling our Black American kids the N-words. They're making jokes about them eating fried chicken and watermelon, and we are not going to blame this on white Americans either. They come here not even knowing English, but already knowing how to be racist against Black Americans, and come here with all these little anti-Black stereotypes about us. White Americans did not teach them that. They bring these, I'm not sure who's the person that keeps direct messaging me, but it's getting on my damn nerves. Anyway, they keep trying to talk about white Americans are exporting anti-Blackness. Wrong. Anti-Blackness is being imported by white America. That's what we can say. If you go to Latin America, so we think about illegal immigrants, we mainly think about Hispanics, even though it's Asian Americans as well. But by and large, it's Hispanic immigrants. Latin America is extremely anti-Black. When I went to Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Colombia, and what else is there, please? Mexico. It was always Mexico, not so much because I just didn't see that many Black people. The people I did see were Black were Haitians, but they were always to the bottom. Colombia is 40% Black. But you wouldn't know that when you look at all the people in positions of wealth living in the nice neighborhoods. They come here with the mindset that Black Americans should be to the bottom, just like the Black Latinos in their communities are to the bottom. We absolutely should call ICE. On a practical level, this lie that they're doing jobs that no other American would do, I never understood how that made sense. Because who was doing the jobs before them? Who were the ones in the farms? Picking the crops, growing the crops? Who were the ones putting on the roofs and painting and doing carpentry and doing construction? Who were the ones doing all of that stuff? It was freemen. It was Black Americans. Those jobs were sources of jobs that where degrees were not required and where our people dominated. Brick masonry, you name it. Now we can't get it. The same way the Irish who were anti-Black will often get together, and because they were white, they would use their whiteness and they would take lower wages just so they can disenfranchise the Black Americans. You now got these Hispanics, and not talking about the Afro-Latinos so much, but even them, if they look whiter than the average Black American, they're using the fact that they're not Black American. They could be an Afro-Latino, but even if they're not Black American, they're using the fact that they're not us to present themselves as a better alternative, taking lower wages and then bringing over other illegals whom they do not have to pay, but they can have work and pretty much modern day slave labor. We should definitely call ICE. Not only is for our own good, for which I am primarily concerned, it's also for the good of the illegals who are being kept in modern day exploitative conditions. So yes, I'm calling them. We got to get over this pray to the Lord, turn the other cheek, love my enemy stuff. Ain't no one else loving us. We've been the only ones sitting around here loving everybody, and we don't have nothing to show for it. Being the bigger person has made us the poor person, has made us the most disenfranchised person. It's time for us to be the smartest person. It's time for us to be the person who's most demanding of what we're owed. Call ICE, and I am going to try to make it a goal to at least call them 10 times a week.
Can I ask a question real quick to Marcel? I never heard you speak on this. I always miss you. I just had a real quick question. I was wondering, I know you're big on the Freedmen's Bureau, right? Would this be a physical place where we would have to show up with our paperwork and documents? I'm just curious, like, what's your vision for that?
Yes. These are going to be physical bureaus as the Freedmen bureaus were in the past. We have a building here, Penn Center, which was the first freedmen's school in the United States of America, but it also served as the first Freedmen's Bureau. So the same way they were physical locations then, they will be physical locations underneath my plan, with the majority of them being in the South, where the freedmen population is the highest.
There you go. Amen to that. Hey, that was clear as day. Clear as day. And I think Brother Marcel laid out something new. Call ICE and call them twice. That's what I'm talking about. On top of reparations and deportations. I salute you on that one, bro. I'm going to laugh about that. Matter of fact, y'all see that tweet? I'm just telling you now, I got it from Brother Marcel. Call ICE and call them twice. Let's get to some hands in here. Tim, and then EJ, and then Naheem.
Tim, we got a whole line. Let's let a few other people speak, and then we'll come back to you, because there's a lot of people that haven't gotten.
Right.
Yeah,
I can hang out. I'll sit here. I'll wait till the end.
Yeah. We'll get some new hands.
I think it was EJ. Was it EJ next? I think so.
Yeah, EJ then Fuya. No, EJ, Ben, then Fuya.
What's going on, fam?
Hello.
Not much. I just wanted to. I'm riding through here in Boston, man. I was in Roxbury, Eggleston Square, and I just noticed, like, man, all throughout Boston, like the Latinos, they own most of the liquor stores here. I haven't seen. I think we have like maybe one or two dispensaries, like throughout the whole greater Boston metropolitan area. Like, what are we doing to counteract that? I mean, are we putting together a plan? I know everybody's trying to be holier than thou, but we drink liquor, we smoke weed, we don't have no weed shops, and we don't own no liquor stores. Like what are we doing? We own all the churches around here, but we don't own none of that. I'm laying there, man.
Exactly. Go ahead, Ben. Ben is on you. Okay.
All right, we skip to the next one.
Yeah, Ben is at the illegal aliens store right now getting some damn Goya beans. But go ahead.
Some of that alien liquor.
Yeah, he getting some Goya beans. But Foya is on you.
Good evening, fam.
Hello.
I want to point out one group of I guess you call them illegal immigration. One group that I think we should really watch out for, even though they're in the Asian group, they're Koreans, and they are serious drug lords, and they trade a lot with the Mexicans, and they bring a lot of that drugs into the United States and bring it to the Black community. Everybody thinks it's just Chinese, but they're not. They, in fact, hate Chinese. So those people are treacherous, and they do a lot of harm. I had one little girl down here.
We watching out for all of them. Every single immigrant, every single anti-racist is not just one. We're not picking one and saying, oh, well, no, we're watching every last one of them, respectfully. But let me get to the hand, sister, because we got other people that want to speak to. I'll give you 30 seconds. Yeah,
I would say let her finish the story.
Well, that's okay. Go ahead. I just wanted to point that out. So that's not all I wanted to say, but I'll let someone else go. Go ahead.
You should finish what you were going to say, man.
Yeah, take your time. Finish the story. Go ahead.
Well, I just think that they're worse than some of the white supremacists, because there's one-on-one situations going on. I know a lot of young adults are getting jobs in some of these places, and they're talking in their language, but some of the young men and the women that I know, they speak Korean, and these are Blacks, okay? So they know what's going on in the community. So when these young people take these jobs, they're being treated really bad. So that's why I'm bringing this point up. And they may not be telling some of us, but it's really going on in the community. So that's why I wanted to highlight that. So they're not just being racist, they're also trafficking the drugs and the people and everything else. So I just wanted to point that out.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Would you call ICE?
Hell yes.
The good answer.
Thank you.
We're watching every single person, because I understand what you're saying, sister, but we can't just be watching one separate group and not watch everybody's on the watch list.
I'm not saying just watch them. I'm just saying make sure you don't diss them like you're not, everybody's included. Okay, all of them.
That's a good point. Let's get some more people in here, though, because we real deep. We got 156. If everybody could share this right now, we'll keep it moving. Let's go, Brother Naheem, I think it is.
Peace, definitely. It's Brother Naheem. What's going on, fam? Thanks for having me up. Yeah, call ICE. Not only should you call ICE, all able-bodied freedmen, in my opinion, if you can, become ICE officers, right? They're taking the jobs anyway. There's some jobs out there for ICE agents. My sister Roz has been promoting this as well. I want to give a shout out to my sister in the audience. And that's all I pretty much came up here to say. I wanted to lend my voice to it, being that I have a little bit of influence on this particular topic. I posted in the Jumbotron, if y'all don't mind, the interview that we had with Roy Beck, who wrote the book Back of the Hiring Line, in y'all's Jumbotron. And because they had that space yesterday about, some dudes talk about, I'm from New York. I'm from New York, too. We see what immigration is doing to our people. Those numbers have been shared since I've been in the space. They've been shared since yesterday. I don't have to get into them. It's hurting us. Call ICE. Call them. Matter of fact, I'm for anybody that came here in the past 10 years being sent back to their own country with all of the resources that they have built up, all of the education, particularly the political sciences, to go back to their own country with all of the monies that they received over here in the United States of America and start building up their own countries and their own government. I'm a immigration restrictionist. Hashtag send them home. I just wanted to get up here and say that. Peace.
Hey, amen to that, brother. Amen. Who was next? I think, was it Black Voltron? If you was up, brother, go ahead.
Yeah, Black Voltron.
Hey, good afternoon. Big B1 salute to everybody. And shout out to you, Black Alpha Network, Brother Rich, Queen Alpha Network, for having me up here. And, the question we're having is, is calling ICE patriotic? And am I going to call ICE? You goddamn right I'm gonna call ICE on these motherfuckers. Every single time I pass a motherfucking Home Depot on Lowe's, I'm gonna call ICE on these motherfuckers. Fuck them. Okay? We are in economic war, y'all. I mean, I just posted up on the Jumbotron the National Bureau of Economic Research on what illegal immigration has done to foundational Black Americans. It has destroyed our communities. I mean, I hope y'all are paying attention. Please pay attention to what's happening to us out here on the West Coast. I'm talking from Seattle all the way down to San Diego and everywhere in between. Illegal immigration has decimated the foundational Black American population out here. I mean, I'm a 70s and 80s baby, all right? We used to be able to have jobs here in Oakland called the Mayor's Youth Summer Job Program back in the day. And it was mostly foundational Black American youth, myself included. I got a couple jobs off that. Now, all of the, entry-level jobs that used to go to our children, and for some of us, our grandchildren, the teenagers and stuff, they're being taken over by illegal immigrants. You wonder why so many Black people are being eliminated economically out here and being homeless. Well, that's why. If they can, instead of paying a foundational Black American $15 an hour, well, hell, I could pay legal $5. Well, damn right. It's a matter of economics. I'm gonna get that illegal immigrant. I mean, they're taking over fast food, service, manufacturing, construction. I mean, damn. I mean, I can't tell you how many Latinos, Asians, East Indians are in the industry here. Trucking for out here in the port of Oakland. They're taking over that. I mean, and has anybody thought about the crime? I think the sister Fulani and a couple other people talked about the crime. You damn right that's where they get them from. How many, Nino Brown said, ain't no, how many niggas in Harlem make Uzis? How many own a poppy field? How many own a cocoa planting factory and shit? I mean, who the fuck who we talking to now? This is insulting our intelligence. These illegal immigrants are bringing these drugs through the border or on shipping containers and stuff, and they're allowing this to happen. I'm here in the Bay, Oakland, California. All right. So throughout the Bay, we literally got the United Nations up here. We got every single nationality from damn near every single country up here. So we got illegal and legal up here. And they are all anti-foundational Black American. They hate us. Get that through your head. You will be ethnically cleansed of your area, like was happened out here in California, what's happening in New York as we speak. NYC is gone, DC, and now Atlanta. How y'all gonna allow Atlanta to get taken over by some illegal immigrants, y'all? Houston, Dallas, goddamn New Orleans, what the fuck? Call ICE. Shut this shit down. We are at war. We are at war. Economic warfare. You understand that? They do not want us. They do not like us. They fucking hate us. They think they're better and we are lesser than them. Okay? I mean, you got criminals. Should I mention MS-13, Florencia 13 has been targeting Black people coast to coast? The fuck? Man, use every single means, all means, and every means necessary. Get clear these niggas out. Clear these illegal immigrants out. Get them the fuck out of here. Fuck them. We are at a critical stage at this point. Either we gonna fight for survival or we will become extinct. Black folks, what y'all gonna do? I'm gonna land my plane on that.
By the way, real quick, Black Voltron actually made me remember this story. About 4 or 5 years ago, there was a laundromat I used to go to around the corner from my house, and it was owned by Asians. And the laundromat they owned the laundromat and the dry cleaner. They were both connected. And I would do my laundry and I would go to the back and get my clothes out the dry cleaners. And one day I looked up and I seen a picture of all the presidents of the United States and a whole bunch of white supremacists on that picture. And I called that Asian out and I told that nigga, take that picture out of here within a week or we gonna have some problems. And he took it out of there. And that was Asians. Asian dudes with a whole bunch of white supremacists inside of his laundromat. And by the way, a bunch of Black people go there every single day, still supporting. And it's not my job to tell them to not support. It's their job to look up and see white supremacists on that picture. If you shopping at a place and you don't see white supremacists right there on that picture, then that means you just a fool. That means you just in La La Land. You don't know how to identify when somebody's a suspected white supremacist. And he took that down. I got video of that actually. I got pictures and videos of that, just in case he put it back up so I could really expose his ass.
Hey, Brother Rich.
Go ahead, brother.
I think a better solution than him taking down the white supremacists' pictures and stuff. I mean, but you're still giving them money. You're still feeding them. You're feeding his children, grandchildren, his legacy. I say make him take down the whole goddamn laundromat. Open up 4 laundromats around him and shut him out economically. That's what we're going to do, y'all.
Yeah, and I didn't step foot in there ever again. Ever. Matter of fact, I stepped there. I went back in there once just to see if the picture was up there, and it wasn't. I never stepped foot back in there ever again. But you still got Black people that go in there. But I'm gonna get to the hands though. Ben, are you ready? I had given you a shot, but you never spoke.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead,
I,
brother.
I was just gonna mention far as the infiltration part, like down there in Houston, the Nigerians are, joining the police department and they're working in the jails and in the court system, and they're known for treating the brothers down there extra bad in the prisons down there. So we're being infiltrated, and like Black Voltron said, as far as these stores, we got to stop funding our own demise. Keep your black ass out of them. I believe the black authority said, as far as what the Italians used to do, if they laid the law down in the neighborhood and you want it to be different, you was gonna get a knock on the door at night. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have to burn them down. We don't have to bust no windows. If you stay out of them, within a couple of months, the law of economics will take them out, because we're the only ones that shop there. People don't shop in them stores. So we have 100% control if them stores stay open or not. But we just can't stay out of them. You know what I mean? So if you got to go on Amazon or online and you get your groceries delivered, you got a carpool, you know what I'm saying, like our brothers did back during the boycott of the buses, do it. But we can't keep funding, because I think the Koreans make $9 billion a year off of fake hair that they sell in the black community. We got to stop doing that, man. You know what I'm talking about? We buying our own rope to put around our neck and lynch ourselves. Okay, I'm done.
That's a good point. A lot of people don't know that those Koreans were subsidized by the United States government. So that wasn't just some play or some accident or coincidence. The United States government actually, orchestrated that and brought that in so they could take over, our areas and our shops. It's the same thing over and over. Brother Marcel.
Yeah, I want to say, speaking of the Koreans, I don't know if y'all remember these two young black sisters, black American girls. They opened their own beauty supply store. They were selling. It was like the first black-owned beauty supply store in their state, like in like decades. And they went out of business. You can find them. They're on Twitter. They talk about it all the time. And they are now back in business, but they don't have a store. They do it online. Why did their business go out of business? Because the Koreans, who control the flow, refused to sell merchandise to them. They controlled all the supply lines. That is right there is emblematic of how these immigrants, legal and illegal, feel about us. What do these Mexicans do in the West Coast? They first came over and were friendly with Black Americans. The more Black Americans started moving back to the South and they had the majority, they started showing their true colors. They sat there, even if they weren't a part of those Latino gangs, they sat back and let the Latino gangs terrorize Black people who were still living in majority Black neighborhoods. They may seem all friendly and like they're quote unquote hardworking, which by the way, they are not. They may seem all friendly up front, but the moment their numbers start to increase and we become a minority, they let their true colors show. They are not our friends. But even if they were our friends, I like to stick to the data. The data shows from liberal entities to conservative entities. It all shows that immigration, legal too, but illegal especially, has a negative impact on Black America. So some of our people, it's not that they think calling ICE is snitching. It's not that calling ICE to them is something that they feel uncomfortable doing because of our relationship with police officers. Some of our people just want to sleep with these immigrant people because that's probably all they can get. Let's be very, very honest. It has nothing to do with them not wanting to call the authorities. They feel like, no, some of them just want to have sexual access to these illegal immigrants, just like some of our people just want to have sexual access to white Americans. We are in war. I am sick. One thing I get tired of with us is when we are expressing our rightful rage and indignation, we always then want to give a disclaimer. Well, I'm not being xenophobic. I don't hate white people now. I am not going to explain
my indignation. All you got to do is a quick Google search and it'll be explained for you. So when I call ICE, I am not going to sit there and be put on the defensive. I am doing what we all should have been doing a long time ago. Instead of dancing, and this is how we do it in the 90s, we should have been calling ICE and getting on code. But instead, we sat there and wanted to be the nice Negroes, bringing cakes to people in the community who were then shooting our beautiful black girls in the back of a head over a damn bottle of orange juice. We should have checked them. You should have killed them. But we didn't do it. Now they're still living and our beautiful black girl is gone. This is being recorded. Good. Because I want to be on record on saying this. If you think Donald Trump was anti-immigration, illegal immigration, I'm going to make him look like an open borders candidate. I mean every goddamn word of that. I have every right to feel this way. I have every right to have the position that I have. And win or lose, this is going to stay my position.
Big facts on that one. I'm going to bring in Tim, because I know you had your hand up, brother. And then Kelly after that.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. Just a quick shout out to soon-to-be Representative Dixon for shouting out my hashtag, Ice Baby. But I wanted to say, just in speaking back to all, that's the thing that's really going to kill us, having sympathy for people who don't care about us. We really got to think about that. And I kind of just want to end. I'm actually going to go down to the audience, but I just want to end back on this vices thing. We were kind of touching on the weed. I actually released a story about Matrice Richardson in California. The young lady there who they found in California. They found her body on a abandoned weed place, possibly run by illegals. So kind of think about that, and also think about how we're kind of shut out of that stuff. So when you have vices, just think about devices. They had a lady in they had a lady in Alaska, a black lady, and weed is legal to sell in Alaska. The only black lady up there with a weed spot, they were going to give her 50 years, but the white people, they were going to let them go. So I just wanted to end with that. I'm gonna step down to the audience, and great conversation.
Sister Kelly, it's all on you.
All right. Hi, everybody. I wanted to just chime in on this, and I concur. I absolutely believe in calling an immigration, and I really don't care who thinks I'm a snitch, because this is about the survival of our people. But I wanted to say how this affects out here where I am. I'm in the state of Nevada, and it affects in a lot of ways. There's a lot of Hispanic immigrants. I don't want to just pick on them, but we have a lot of immigrants, a high Somalian rate out here, and a high Asian rate. And so with that being said, I'm seeing in my locale of how they all work in conjunction together. For instance, in a neighborhood, there'll be, because I live unfortunately close to Chinatown. Unfortunately, Chinatown is moving closer to me. I didn't move close to it, in case anybody's interested. But what's going on is some of them will buy up houses in our subdivision and make them Airbnbs or rentals or whatever, and then there are Hispanics there with like the tune of like 15,000 people and 8,000 cars outside the house. So I'm saying that. I'm also saying that there are an awful lot of, because it may be in your neighborhood too, a lot of these quote-unquote foot spas that are open 24 hours, where I've seen cops actually, catch somebody breezing through a light and give them a ticket, but stopping in front of illegal foot spas that are open for 24 hours, because good and goddamn well nobody's foot is hurting like that at 4:30 in the damn morning when I'm driving home. If your foot's hurting like that, you need to take your ass to the hospital, not to an Asian foot spa, quote unquote. But I'm saying it to say this. I also teach at a community center where it's a high concentration of Hispanic students. And I didn't realize how many weren't documented until the one time when Trump was in office and had sent ICE, like just racking everybody up. And out of 30 students that day, I only had 4 show up. And I was like, what is going on? And then that's when I realized they're all hiding out. So I'm saying that to say this, and I'll say one more thing, and I'll be done. Also, in these hotels out here, because I'm right 2 miles away from the casino, in the hotels, there's a lot heavy with the culinary department, culinary unions. They're in the culinary unions. They're also in housekeeping. A lot of them are in housekeeping, which is a great job, great paying job, great tipping job. At the same time, they are learning the language. A lot of them can't even speak the language, but they learn it. That's one of the learning English jobs that's known out here, of when they're trying to, while they're getting paid handsomely, they get to learn how to speak English. So I'm saying to say this, I just wanted to tell you what's going on the ground here where I am. But if you don't think I haven't called ICE a couple of times already, I don't even know what the outcome is, and I don't even care, but I know I'm going to continue to call. And anybody, I know this is being recorded, and I don't want to jump on Marcel's heels, even though he was speaking truth, but I don't care. Then I'm just going to have to be that snitch, and I'm probably going to be making another call today, and I'll take a breath.
If you're in this room right now, please share it. Let everybody know you're in here. Please share it. Cholo, you're in the speaker quest, but your hand is not raised. So if you want to speak, just raise your hand. And Black Alpha, who's next?
Sure. Just wanted to know if this were to be implemented.
No. You got to raise your hand. There's a line. You got to raise your hand.
Yeah, put your hand up. There ain't no jumping in front of the line. I think we had Brother Landon.
My hand was up for about 40 minutes. So okay.
All right, go ahead. Say peace. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you had your hand raised up and then you left. You got to keep
you got to raise your hand on this thing. But go ahead. I want to hear an opposing view because it sounds like you got one. Go ahead, brother.
Sure. Yeah. If this were to be implemented, right, and you run out.
Hold on. What is it? You said if this was like what? What is this you're referring to?
Well, you're proposing, you're advocating that you all call on the illegals, right? So then all the illegals will be banned, and then who's gonna work, right? So if this were to be implemented,
we are.
Just let me finish my question. If you were to be and you run out all the illegals, and the national business employee requirements are not met, what then, right? Could this fail? What you're proposing, could this fail?
I just answered your question. You said
yeah. Let me I just want to finish my thought. And if it fails, right? Could the new immigration policy to be advocated could it even be worse for blacks? Could you guys be in the future be in a worse situation you are now if this fails?
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. Where are your people from?
I'm Hispanic, man, but I have no beef in this. I agree with you.
No, he didn't ask that question. He said, "Where are your people from?"
I'm from South America. I'm a native Cholo immigrant, like everybody else.
Wait, so hold up. You just said you said you were Hispanic?
No, I'm a Hispanic. I'm native to South America.
Okay,
native. I'm Cholo, Indian, indigenous, mestizo, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, because I could have sworn you just said you was Hispanic, but I'm gonna let that go.
No. Well, you guys say Hispanic, but the point
where are
is,
you currently calling from? Where are you calling from?
From South America.
What part of South America? It's a big place. What part?
Ecuador, man. Ecuador. Look at my profile.
Brother.
That's okay. I ain't got to look at it. You can just tell me. We can get past all that.
Yeah, but brother, you're
distracting from my question,
brother,
dude, man.
Cholo. You just said you have no dog in this fight. Yet,
yeah, intellectually, what would happen if it fails? You could be in a worse situation right now.
No.
But if you fail, it gets even.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you because you're starting to get loud, and you said you had no dog in this fight, and right now it's looking funny. You're a Hispanic, and you're telling me you have no dog in this fight, brother. This is confusion. I don't like to be confused. I don't like deception. You telling me you have no dog in this fight, but it sounds like you're a white Hispanic. Talk to me, brother. Clarify this. No deception, brother. No confusion. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm gonna unmute your mic. Don't start getting loud and rowdy because right now it's sounding funny. I'm putting the money in you. I'm putting the $100 in the air, and it's looking funny in the light. Talk to me.
Well, sorry, dude. I don't agree with you. I think all I'm asking you is what if. That's all.
Brother,
are you ready for the what if?
Okay,
That's all.
brother, we don't live in what if. You live in that light of what. Okay, I told you not to interrupt me. We do not live in the world of what if. That's babble. That's Negro babble. We live in the real world where we decide our faith. So there's no what if. You keep saying if the illegals leave, who's going to fill in for their jobs? We are. We had this conversation already. Nas brought it up. We already spoke about this. You late, brother. You the one that's late. Everybody's catching up. We already know what's up. The illegal immigrations leave. The illegals leave. We take their jobs. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, but then if they need to correct it, right? Let's just say it doesn't. And if the policy, national policy, has to be required and to correct the situation, you may be in a worse situation than you are now. Maybe
Hold on. I got to chime in. I'll let you finish in a minute, but I got to chime in. Listen, you said, first off, I caught what you said. You said if we run out the immigrants, well, who the hell ran them in? Okay, see, we don't have to worry about getting ran out because we've been here since day one. Remember, you're calling from your country here. You're talking about our business, what we've got going on. We're straight. If you want to know what's going to happen with us, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with us. The same thing that's been going on for 500 years. We're going to be good. We're going to stay strong. As Kendrick Lamar said, we're going to be all right. We're going to be better than all right. So we don't need you to call us and tell us, what would happen if and what could, should, might, maybe, ain't. I'm going to tell you what the answer is. The answer is foundational Black Americans will be what we've always been, exceptional. We've been a miracle. We've been the one of a kind people on this planet. Okay. And we're doing very, very well for ourselves. And we will continue to be very well for ourselves, whether there's an immigrant, whether there's not, whether you calling from Nicaragua or not, whether you calling from the deepest part of Africa, Asia, it does not matter. Foundational Black Americans are doing very, very good. So I would suggest to you is that you should not worry about us, past, present, or future. You should worry about your past, present, future, and why you're calling us talking about our future, because we're not calling you talking about yours. So if you really want to know something, you need to understand that FBA are going to be good. We're going to be strong like we've always been. Trust me, there's nothing that's going to break us. No legislation, no policy, no supremacy, no immigrant supremacy, no Nicaraguan person, nobody. We're going to be good like we've always been. And you can take that to heart. And that's word to the wise. You understand that?
Great. Wonderful.
All right. Well, go tell your friends that, brother, and have a nice day. Moving on. And I will call ICE. Call him twice, like Marcel said. Moving on to Ross from, I can't see your whole thing, but Ross from, go ahead.
What's going on, family? This is Ross from the DMV, and I wanted to basically thank the host for allowing me to speak into this space. I've been wanting to talk all day, and I've been out, doing work for the community, for the Freedmen people. I wanted to just step into this and thank Brother Naeem also for telling people about one of the things that I had said. I said we as freedmen should be joining ICE and becoming officers so we know when we come home with our jackets on in our community, and I mean heavy, and we have ICE, then that's going to move the people that's not us out of our neighborhoods. So we need to be getting paid federal government jobs and federal government benefits while basically doing for our people, which is moving people that don't belong here up out of here. That was one thing. And for anybody, I got to go talk to my brother, Shut Up and Dribble. It's important that you read, brother, the back of the hiring line. Once you read that book, that 200-year history of how we have been locked out and shut out every time immigration gates have been open wide up, you will have a better understanding of why I can make that call. I'm from an older school than you, brother. I mean, with much appreciation and respect, I'm from that old school, but I look at it like I'm basically helping my people. And if this will help, one of the things, I don't care if Brother Marcel or another politician, because I've been talking to a lot of Republicans on this. One of the things that we got to do, like right now, if you knew the amount of money that we're spending in health care and getting people housed and things of that nature, and crime, all of that stuff adds up. And these people are not people that you could even just, we have too many sanctuary cities. I don't know whose bright, dumb idea that was, but it's too many sanctuary cities that are covering for the people. But if you look at the amount of money that goes towards every person that's in this country illegally, I'm sure it's well over $20,000. Now, let's take 1/20th of that and be able to tell people like yourself or anybody else, if you call on, like Brother Marcel has said, don't just call ICE, call them thrice. If you call them and say, look, this family of 20 or people across the street is 20 people there, and they are illegal in this country. None of them can speak English. All of them just all activities, all kinds of day, or whatever the case, like somebody had said earlier about South Carolina. Now, you give them people you give them 1/20th of that. That's right, $1,000 per person. They can make $20,000 that day by reporting. I bet you will pick up that phone and make that phone call then. So let's start getting people paid for reporting. That's right, I said getting paid to report. Now, we won't have anybody illegal in this country if that starts happening, right? That's another thing that we need to start implementing. That was my idea for the plan, along with starting the work. So after you finish your 60, excuse me a second, hold on a second, brother, I'm with you. Hold on, I appreciate it. But after you finish your $70,000 a year working for the federal government of ICE, you go home and you see somebody, you make some phone calls. And guess what? At the end of the week or the end of the month, you got an extra $10,000 and that's tax-free sitting up in your bank account. Now, who won't call ICE? And on that, I'll dock my yard. Thank you.
The new black media is coming on.
All right.
The new black media is coming on at 8:00. So we're gonna wrap this up in 40 minutes. I want everybody to get a chance to speak. So if the next person that speaks, everybody else that's about to speak, make it. You got to raise your hand, brother. You got to make it.
Was it me next? I'm sorry. My phone was acting up. I'm not sure if I was called.
No, it should be me next. I've been waiting.
No, it's not. Shut up. It's not you next. It's Landon. It's Brother Marcel. That's it. I've been watching it. It's Landon and Brother Marcel.
Dang, okay, it's cool.
Hey, go ahead, Brother Landon.
All right, so like I was going to say, don't hesitate to call ICE, because if the shoe is on the other foot, best believe they send your ass up the river quick, just like they do when they get here and they start becoming citizens and they start getting all the shit they got. The first thing they do is kick you out the neighborhood. They make you feel unwanted. I'm from California, so I feel a lot what Black Voltron says. I seen this shit growing up. My city was nothing but black and white when I was little. I got older. I couldn't even build wealth when I was young. I was trying to get little cheap-ass jobs. They told me I couldn't do shit in the back, not even flip burgers, because I couldn't speak Spanish. I got to speak Spanish to flip burgers? Nah, like I said, don't hesitate to call ICE. Don't hesitate to do any of this stuff, because this stuff ruins our communities. If you get them out of here, everything will level out. Rent will go down, jobs will be available, the price of food will go down, and landlords will be begging people to move in instead of playing this game where they select and choose a certain few. I'm telling you, look out for yourself. Look out for yourself, because they ain't looking out for you. They'll call the police on you in an instant. They do not like you. There's children grow up, they become gangbangers, and they kill innocent. They don't even attack other gangbangers. They attack innocent bystanders, civilians. Take it from California. If y'all living in the South, the Midwest, look at California and say, hey, I don't want that. Because what we going through out here is hell. They started at these small jobs, and now they working at these big jobs. These guys ain't making $15,000 a year like they trying to say. I'm at a $100,000 a year job at an oil refinery driving trucks. All of my co-workers don't speak English. It's not their first language. You know what I'm saying? So they got money. They got money, they got power, and they're bringing their people in. One of my co-workers is just talking about bringing his whole family over. His brother, his sister, his niece, all their children. He's working on trying to get that all cracking off. Getting FHA loans. Everything that we should be doing, they doing, and they laughing at us.
So fight the politicians, bro. Don't fight the people, bro. The law.
Okay, I was LTC, brother. I already know who you are. You're a non-FBA, and I was gonna save you for last. I was gonna let you speak, but right now you're being a immature baboon. There's a line. You got to raise your hand, brother. You don't get to skip. I know right now what's going on is triggering you, but you got to take your time, brother. You got to raise your hand and wait for your turn to speak. So, Landon, brother, my bad for you getting interrupted. Just land your plane real quick so we could get to the other hands, my brother.
Oh, yeah, I made everything simple. All my whole point is y'all look out for yourselves. Look out for your people, because that is looking out for yourself. And you guys go ahead and stay solid. B1 all the way, FBA, Freedmen, all that all together. Peace.
B1 salute, my brother.
B1 and LTC, don't be a baboon, brother. Wait your turn. Your turn is coming. I saved you for last. I already know who you are. Marcel, go ahead, my brother.
Landon, you're right. That's why I can't stand it. I love my brothers and sisters in NAASD to death, but I cringe when I hear them say, as goes California, so goes the nation. Oh, hell no. Hell to the no. I'll be damned if America, South Carolina, goes from being a state that's 28. We know that's conservatively. Conservative is 28%, but in reality, it's probably somewhere like 35% black to being just 3% black, and most of us living on the streets homeless. No, I don't want as goes California, goes the nation. I don't want us to be talking about Latino culture. I want us to keep our Gullah Geechee culture. I don't want to go to my local grocery store and see them selling tacos and burritos every day and chimichangas. No, I like going down there and seeing them selling red rice and crab cakes and Hoppin' John and tomato and okra gumbo and corn cakes. So no, as goes California, so goes the nation. Not in my house, not on my watch. We have to understand. I am seeing this myself unfold in South Carolina, which has one of the fastest growing Hispanic populations. Yes, the majority of them are there illegally. Yes, they are the children of illegals. They are coming here calling our kids the N-word. They are coming here. You think it's, by the way, I don't hear anything from white kids racist nowadays. It's always the Hispanic children calling our kids cotton pickers. The white children, we haven't had any issues with them being racist. Every single anti-black statement and action that has happened in my school has always been from the Hispanic students. And it pisses me off because you wouldn't even be up in this country enjoying quote unquote civil rights if it wasn't for black Americans. They get billions of dollars to teach them how to speak English. And guess what department from which that comes? The Civil Rights Department. Which group of people fought? And is the reason we have a civil rights department. The reason this country even acknowledges civil rights, us. They're getting billions of dollars from that. And we're being told, my black American kids who were ridiculed, whose parents were ridiculed, grandparents and great-grandparents for speaking a language that was a freedman language, Gullah Geechee, we're now being told we should learn Spanish to become multilingual. We're being bombarded with how rich of a culture they have. When our Gullah Geechee culture is a unique culture that exists in no other place in the world, and we're being told learn about them. So this is the first rule of nature is self-preservation. White Americans understand that. They've been understanding that. Hispanic illegal immigrants, they understand that. We as black Americans need to wake up and understand that. I don't understand how any of us can have more compassion for a group of people that even if they were friendly to us, which they are not, the studies make it very clear is harmful to black America. Is this to say that illegal immigration is the reason for black Americans being to the bottom of society? No. But is illegal immigration the reason we are being pushed further down to the bottom of society at a much more rapid pace? Yes. Is illegal immigration the reason that we now have a buffer class, that once upon a time we were the group demanding that this government attend to our needs? Now we got all these other people making it about citizenship and sanctuary cities, and now the Democrats can just ignore us while getting our votes and getting in office because of us, and they could be all philanthropic to a group of people that's not us, is why they want to give them citizenship to replace us? Yes. So I don't even want to understand, nor do I have any sympathy towards anyone who is not on code with us calling ICE and getting these illegals the hell out of our country. First of all, they're criminals. They broke the law coming into our nation. Who wants to make citizens people that first time coming into your nation was to break the rules of your nation? That is not an exemplary person you will want to make a citizen. Illegal immigrants should not be here. Any house they have, any job, any resource they get from the government, whether it's hospital, the roads they drive on, the schools their children attend, those are all resources that should be going to our people, and they're not, because it's going to them. And then they're turning around, spitting in our faces, calling us the N-word. Call ICE. Have ICE on speed dial.
And by the way, the new black media is coming on at 8 o'clock. So if you're up next to speak, Please make it real quick and real simple. Don't babble on, because you know me, I'm gonna call you out on it. Go ahead, Black Alpha.
Hey, yeah, no, hey, we're gonna keep this going, man. We got a lot of things. I'm gonna post all the new Black media in the thing to play back, but we about almost 300 deep. So I'm gonna post all them up on my page. You want to check them out, but we're gonna keep this thing going because I see a lot of people wanting to go, and I don't want to cut 300 off, right now. So we're gonna keep this thing pushing. I think next with Afro Elite, yeah, Afro,
Man.
it's all on you, brother.
No, I got it next. I've been up for a minute, but that's cool. Go ahead.
Oh, no, hey,
No,
hold
I
on.
mean, I can wait.
No, shut
No,
up.
go ahead, Afro. Go ahead, Afro.
Wait,
It's
shut.
good.
Shut up. You already spoke. We're giving people who never spoke a chance. So we're not skipping you. We're just giving people who never had an opportunity to speak. Afro, go ahead, brother.
Okay. First off, shout out to the host, Black Alpha, the co-host, Queen Alpha, and Rich. Shout out to you all. 300. At 300, this is a very great space right here, and a very great question to the space. In my opinion, I will keep this as brief as possible. I feel like calling ICE is the most patriotic thing that you can do. These people have officially broke into the country. These people are enemies of the state. And as a patriot, you should be calling your local authorities. You should be calling ICE to get them out, because these people come here and they have a parasitic mentality as far as leeching and sucking the resources away from the natives, us, foundational Black Americans, and other people who actually belong to this country, belong in this country. They come here, they suck the resources out. They don't really contribute anything. People act like, well, they contribute to the labor. They contribute to the labor. There was a lot of Black men who, and my father was included in this, there was a lot of Black men who used to work construction jobs and who used to do those housing jobs and, that are now being replaced and filtered out and replaced by illegal immigration. Now these illegal immigrants are doing it, and we're getting told, oh, well, you didn't want to do that job anyway. What do you mean we didn't want to do that job? We were doing these jobs for decades before they came over here, and you figure that you can get a cheaper price for picking them, and you're saying that we didn't want to do the job anywhere. They need to go, okay? They are a virus to this country, to foundational Black Americans, and to our resources. They don't contribute anything. They are very anti-Black. And they all know this. When I was in college, I used to ask, okay, if Black and brown, if we're supposed to be a coalition, if we're pretty much one and the same, why do Mexicans or quote unquote brown people treat Black people like shit in Mexico? And they all get stunned. They don't know what to say, because they all know how their family talks about Black people. They all know how their family treats Black people and how their family views Black people. So you can only imagine how it's going to happen if what they're going to think if they can come to this land and suck up our resources that we built for. So to answer your question, once again, I feel like calling ICE is the most patriotic thing to do. I'm not necessarily one to wave the flag and do all of this and call myself a patriot, but when I call ICE, I want to damn it stand behind an American flag with an eagle on my shoulder. That's how patriotic I feel when I do that, because these people are viruses to this country, the country that my family built, and they get to break in federal laws, break federal laws, and get resources for it. Hell no. Absolutely. And anybody who says anything other than that, it should not be listened to whatsoever. And I land there. Thank you for letting me speak too.
It's always love. We always want to hear from you, brother Afro, all the way. Who we got next? Shut up. Go ahead, brother. You got to make it quick, family. You don't already talk.
45 seconds. Okay. Here's all I'm saying. I know you were saying about I focus too much on the corporate part of it. Now, and my way of thinking about this is I was looking at a situation that went down because I don't live far from it. But if you look in like the third frame, I put something in the Jumbotron where the Tyson plant folk had an undercover agent and was asked by the Tyson manager to provide 2,000 Guatemalan workers. And Amador is offered up to $200 per head as a recruitment fee. And he smuggled them in there. And when they caught up with that plant, even up until like a few years ago, when they got them 700 up out of there, over 500 of them returned right back to work. They I'm saying that it is so hard to call the system and to fight the system that is producing this stuff. You're trying to call the system on the system. So I'm saying it's a bigger force happening that I don't think any of us are really inclined to know. We don't know what to deal with it. They paid that man $500,000 to get them in here to work at we talking a Fortune 200 company. We talking top 200 company in the country.
Okay,
brother.
Wait, hold up. Just to respond to what you said. You said we're calling the system on the system. If you understand how white society works, not everybody in the system agrees with one agenda. This is why you have Republicans and this is why you have Democrats. So ICE is one system, and those people who hire those illegal aliens, that's another system. That's two different systems. It's not one system where everybody agrees with each other. No, white supremacy works in many different ways. Just to piggyback with what you're saying, that doesn't make any sense. It's two different systems. They all agree on two different things. One agrees that ICE should be there, and another one agrees that ICE should not be there.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you on that. And hey, look, great space, cool to talk with you all. Roz, yo, you the best on Twitter I've ever heard talk. So keep doing your thing. I'd like to see what Marcel thinks about what I was saying on that frame, and how does that work politically.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Have a good one. The company, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just want to put in, if we're talking about immigration and stuff like that, first off, I want to say that maybe we should have bureaus in every state. Instead of working for ICE, we can employ ourselves as contractors that watch for ICE instead of being hired by ICE. But we could do that if we have bureaus that regulate our own people in each state. That's just my opinion. If anyone has any comments on that, feel free to add to that if you want. But having a Freedmen's Bureau or some type of bureau in each state instead of a centralized bureau, that would be our best bet if we want to fight immigration. We could help ICE, but being employed by ICE, I don't think that's a good decision.
All right, I appreciate that. Mute yourself. I got a question. Are you black?
Yes, I am. I'm a descendant of Freedmen's, Cherokee Freedmen's.
Okay. I question. The flags is going up. I'm just going to say that now. The flags is going all the way up. Who is next, Brother Rich?
I would like to give a special invitation to my brother LTC. I want to hear what you have to say, brother. Go ahead.
Now, first of all, thank you so much for giving me this space to talk, right? I have two questions, right, for everybody in the room. Now, you guys are talking about calling ICE and all that kind of stuff. How are you going to know if someone is illegal or they're legal?
Okay, brother, we answered this question already. You late. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to find out if someone is illegal. Right now, you sound like you're illegal. So what I would do is, for example, I will call ICE on you. And if ICE come get you out of here, then that means you were illegal. If they don't come get you, if I see you tomorrow morning, that means you're not illegal. That's how we doing it, brother.
All right.
Have a great day. Thank you so much. Who's next? Black Alpha, go ahead.
I think we had Nader. Is that your name? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, I think it's Nader, whatever. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. My fellow Americans, now I am not black, but I've been following the situation with the illegal immigrants, and I am so glad to hear your opinions this evening. And these people coming to our country claiming that they need asylum, well, I feel that there are a lot of people in the world who need asylum, including a lot of your brothers and sisters in Africa. So I think that we should open up the gates to immigration to everyone equally, not just let these people crawl in our country from the south. And you're right, they're taking our resources. I stand behind each and every one of you. But the problem is, if you call ICE, what will they do? what will ICE really do? Because we're in an administration that favors this kind of behavior. They're letting these people come across our border knowingly. And what can we do about it as citizens? Please let me know. Thank you.
Anybody who wants to take that?
Well, I'll take that. Nada, so you said you're with us 100%, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. I love to hear that. So are you with us against fighting white supremacy or just with fighting illegal aliens?
Both. Absolutely.
Excellent. And I see that you have Build Back America. Are you a Republican?
Well, if I had to pick a side, I would lean more toward the Republican side. I was never choosing one party. My philosophy was always choose what's best for the country, choose what's in your heart. And then one day by mistake, I had to pick a side and I picked Republican. So yes.
Excellent. So good to hear. So another question I would have, would probably be the last question.
Okay.
So Donald Trump, do you agree that he's a suspected white supremacist or do you not agree?
So as far as I know, I mean, all right, basically I come from New York, so does he. So our background as New Yorkers is not against black people, and he has raised a lot of black people in his organization. So I can't speak really whether he's a white supremacist, but I know some of his background, he doesn't seem to be that way. I could be wrong.
Okay, got it. So you don't believe he's a white supremacist, correct?
I don't know for sure.
No.
I don't want to accuse somebody of that unless I know for sure.
Well, that's why we say suspected. So suspected means,
okay.
Yeah, we're not saying he's a white supremacist, but we're saying we suspect him of being a white supremacist. Do you suspect him of being a white supremacist?
I don't know. I can't say. I mean, again, I saw that. I thought he was very sympathetic towards black people, but I could be wrong.
Okay, got it. Because earlier you said that, you were backing us 100%. So I just want to make sure, because we're leaning that we do agree with a lot of things that Donald Trump says when it comes to illegal aliens. But at the same time, we do suspect Donald Trump of being a white supremacist. That's why I asked you if you back us 100%.
I missed the beginning.
Time out. I don't want you to back us on certain things, and then with others you don't back us. If you in this 100%, I want you all the way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, I missed the beginning of this conversation, so I didn't hear that part.
Got it. Black Alpha, you got any questions for us?
I got another question. Do you support reparations for foundational Black Americans?
If you would have asked me that a couple of years ago, I would have said no, but I do, honestly, and I do. And when I heard the story of what happened, I don't want to get like all sobby about it, but really, what happened to black people who were forced to come to our country and other countries around the world. Yes, I do believe in that now. Yes.
In what form? In cash payments and land and Uber rides, like Happy Meals, like what form of reparations? Because we're for cash payment. I want to know what you feel.
You're funny. Listen, it doesn't matter what I say or what I think. It's all a matter of what the government is willing to give you guys.
I understand it's all to the government.
Happy Meals? Come on.
Yeah. No, but I know you're not going to give them to us. But I want to know, what do you feel about the government giving us cash payments for reparations? What is your opinion? You had an opinion on immigration. I want to know your opinion on reparations.
Okay, so if that's what makes peace, and if you think it's equally
remember, this is an opinion, so it's your opinion. It's not on us. It's on you. So, what's your opinion? Do you think we should get cash, land, grants? What do you suggest? What is your opinion?
I never thought that much into it, but I guess cash would be an easy solution. But there are other solutions as well. I don't know what to say to that, honestly. What do you guys want? What would make you happy?
Money, okay. Lots of it. Cash payment. We deserve it. We deserve it. It's what's owed to us. It's a debt that's owed to us, just like everybody else. You do know that other groups have gotten cash reparations, right?
You mean the Indians, the Native Americans?
No, the Ukrainians. That's reparation. People separated at the border. The same Mexicans you just spoke of that were separated at the border. They get reparations money all the time. They get Airbnbs. They get it all. So all it is them getting things that we do not get and things that are owed to us that we have not received yet. So it's the same thing. So I'm not here to pick your brain on that. Just wanted to let you know that this is what we want. And if you really want to stand by us, like you said, support cash reparations and tell your friends. But I want you to have a good night. We got to move on to the next speakers.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
Yes, indeed. Ross, go ahead, and then Brother Marcel.
Okay, it's going to take me less than a minute. Thank you. I wanted to have everybody coming in here asking a question about that. Please read Dr. William Sandy Darity's book and A. Kirsten Mullen's book, From Here to Equality, and also read Roy Beck's book, Back of the Hiring Line. Those are two books that you really have to get to understand more, and you're not going to get it just in a Twitter space. You got to do that. And to let everybody know, I put ICE's contact number and link in the Jumbotron. So that's it, and thank you. I'll land right there. Peace.
Ross, I got to salute you. You said get paid for reporting. So for the record, everybody, we have, as Brother Marcel said, reparations, deportations, call ICE and call them twice. And Sister Ross said get paid for reporting. Them is 3 taglines. I want to see them all retweeted. Yes, indeed.
And you know what? Seriously, though, fam, just real quick on that, I definitely think that we need to contact these politicians and put that in there. And I'm doing the same thing with ICE, is contacting them and saying, look, people need to be getting paid money, cash money for reporting, just like you do if you see somebody on Crime Watch and you're getting paid. Get paid for reporting, and that way you're going to see a lot of jobs come into effect for our people. And we're in some places we're at 44% unemployment. We need to be getting paid. Some people can actually just go around and report all day and buy a house with that. So on that, Doc, thank you very much for letting me speak again.
Appreciate it. Brother Marcel and then MP1. Well, I think MP1 just dropped out. Nope, yeah, you still there? Well, I'm not sure if he's there or not, but Brother Marcel.
Hey, so I have something very short to say too. Ross's idea is a good one because in Texas, they passed that anti-abortion law where someone's even trying to get an abortion or even trying to take someone to get an abortion. If you report them, you can get paid to do that. They actually have that for abortion. So there should definitely be that system for illegal immigration. I will become a millionaire overnight. I also want to say Another Day in Paradise, that was her tag name. She actually did make a good point. She was like, if we call ICE underneath this current administration, what's going to happen? They're going to give them $40,000 to $50,000 for their pain and trauma. And while we will still be without reparations. So we have to get candidates who are going to be against illegal immigration. I had a meeting with a candidate, Alexander Hunt, who is supposedly running on a reparations platform, but she supports a pathway to citizenship. And I was explaining to her how that is going to hurt her majority Black district in Philadelphia. It's going to hurt them a lot. And that's the thing. So we have to make sure reparations has to be the go-to. And I am not a person who feels that all of us have to have the same platform, but I am really getting to the point now where reparations, but also being against illegal immigration, but even against legal immigration by and large. There may be some exceptions. I'm starting to get to the point where that has to be a deal breaker as well, because it's not even just the fact that immigration, legal and illegal, hurts our communities. It's the fact that we are literally importing more anti-Blackness. And then they get over here and they are generously given resources that we are owed. So we need that law that Ross mentioned can definitely be done, because they're doing it for abortion. They can definitely do it for illegal immigration. I support us going to work for ICE. I mentioned that yesterday. I didn't know that was already a thing. I'm glad to hear that. Their pay is pretty good, because when I mentioned that, people started looking up in the space I was in yesterday. And we have to get candidates who are closed border candidates and candidates who are absolutely against a pathway to citizenship. I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I'm going to end this right here. Once upon a time, I was always against illegal immigration, always. But once upon a time, I used to be a little bit more open to some pathway to citizenship for markets that had a high need. Now I realize that is all BS because all these jobs they claim that no one wants to do, we were doing them before, and right away our people will go back to doing them because when ICE has been called on these processing plants in these other areas where they were working on farms, right away Black Americans came and did those jobs and did it well. The thing is, we were demanding pay that we have a right to get because of hell, we haven't gotten what we're owed, so we definitely gonna get what we're due. So I agree with everything that's been said. And yep, call ICE, and I'm gonna put the number in both of my phones.
And by the way, if you're a quote unquote street dude and you're in this space right now and you disagree with the average black person who doesn't commit crimes calling ICE and you want to speak, you're welcome to come up. In these spaces, we let anybody speak, whether you agree with us or not. I know in the other spaces, if you don't agree, they don't let you speak. Over here, we let you speak. And LTC, I see you over there begging to speak after I done slaughtered your ass and answer your question. You over here doing the laughing emojis. Brother, relax. You're acting like a groupie, brother. Relax. Black Alpha, go ahead with the hands.
I think we got Ken, Divine, and then Brother Afro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just wanted to mention I work in the factory, and I mean it's overly populated with illegal immigrants. I mean, to the point where I attend meetings and it's in Spanish. And what I've grown to learn is that it seemed like this is more of a Social Security like move, because they pay taxes far as just like Medicare and Social Security, but they're not entitled to it because of their status. So it's like they turn in a blind eye for Social Security, but the government is, but so I feel like we really have to like kind of target like the Social Security Administration, because I think that's like a big stronghold on their view for illegal immigration.
Can I say something real quick about that? Look, I got to say this real quick, okay? If the job, think about this. If we know that these people come here and it's cheap labor, right? We know it's cheap labor. Technically, whatever thing that they quote unquote pay into is getting less money because they're getting paid less to do it. So no matter what way you look at it, it's a net negative against us. So the American who had that job before they got there and was paying more money into the system, we have lost money because of them. Just keep that in mind.
That's another good point. Divine, go ahead.
What's good, brothers, and everybody else in the space? Great space. I was in the one yesterday with Rich and Brother Afro. Definitely agree with everything that's going on in here. We talk about being on code and protecting our communities by any means necessary from threats, both foreign and domestic, is the epitome of being on code. And so to do everything that we can and have to do to protect our communities, protect our families, and protect the potential future that we have in the country that we built, calling ICE is just another notch in the belt of being on code, in my opinion. It doesn't need to be the big thing. It don't really need to be discussed in depth because we are already at the consensus point. The one thing that I see that has happened, and I was just thinking about this earlier, is that, you know, and I hate to always bring it back around to this, but it's one of the things I think is one of the biggest detriments, especially for our community over the past 50, 60 years. And what Pan-Africanism has done, Pan-Africanism has given people that aren't us the license based on their ideology to come in, claim we don't have a culture, but then utilize that culture to disadvantage and undermine us whenever they see fit, just based on melanin, to the point where you got illegal melanated immigrants that will come in and say that we're cooning, when the definition of a coon was somebody that undermines the collective progress of Black Americans in our community. So how can we be cooning when we're protecting our community from those just because they look like us? It doesn't make any sense, but Pan-Africanism has entitled them to that, while also giving them the opportunity and the ability to opt in and out of Blackness because they don't identify as Black in their home country. And last thing I'll say before I pull my iron horse into the station, I just want to co-sign everything that Roz said. We had a great conversation about that. Sign up for ICE. You know, it started off as like a tagline, a little joke, until I realized she was dead ass serious. And the more research you put into it, and as I started looking it up, it just makes perfect sense for us to do for our community. Like she said, get paid for reporting. And it's not even something that is a foreign concept. People have talked about it, but here in New York City, right now, I was reading a story earlier, and it was a law passed in 2019. It's called the Citizens Air Complaint Program. And as of 2022, it has already received $2.3 million in idling fines. And what it does is it empowers citizens to record commercial vehicles that are idling. And if they idle for more than 3 minutes and more than 1 minute in the school zone, you send it in. The city then fines that driver or that corporation or that company, and then the person that sent in the video gets a portion of the ticket that's paid. And what's crazy is they got one dude up here, and his name is, I thought I had it, Donald Blair. This guy by the name of Donald Blair has collected over $100,000 from reporting commercial vehicles. That's just easy money for him doing his civic duty, right? So I think we as Black Americans, we got to etch that into the code, put it in stone, letting everybody know and get the word out that, like Roz said, reporting, you're getting paid to report. And like Brother Marcel said, call ICE and call them twice. That has to become part of our lexicon. That has to become part of our code. That has to become part of our talking points, point blank period. And we don't got to apologize to nobody for it, because nobody else comes here thinking about us and what's in our best interest. Never have, never will. And I'll land there.
If you want to speak, raise your hand. If you want to speak, just raise your hand, because there's a line. Go ahead, Black Alpha.
So Brother Afro and then Brother Black, I think I had his hand up before then. Brother Afro.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you again. First off, I want to give a special shout out to Brother Rich. His birthday passed a few days ago. Happy belated to our Brother Rich. I want to say, I like the way you handled that one lady when she came up and said that she agreed with us 100%, the way you vetted her, because we have that too often where we make a specific talking point or maybe a political stance when it comes to something, and then you'll have a non-Black person, specifically a white person, come up and say, oh, I agree and I support you 100% and everything you said was so great. They'll come up and they'll say that. And then when you try to ask them questions to vet them, you'll see they don't really necessarily agree 100%. If you guys notice, when it came to reparations, and we said specifically, we support cash payment reparations, she really didn't want to say she supported that. Now, she knew she was going to be outed if she said she didn't support that, but she was like, oh, well, no, it's not really what it's what you think, is what the government is willing to give. And then when we said it's an opinion, she said, well, that might be the easiest thing, but there's other options too. So she's not really for cash reparations. When you asked about the Donald Trump thing, she was like, well, Donald Trump has done good things for Black people. I mean, oh, yeah, so what? That doesn't make him
Afro, I think she has something to say because she's requesting to speak. Would you like to speak to her?
Yeah, I would like to speak to her.
Excellent.
Oh, let's see this. Oh, yeah, bring her on.
Give me 1 second. I'm a respectable guy, Afro. When someone speaks about somebody, I like to give them the option to reply, and that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, excellent. Well, she's coming up right now.
All right.
Well, in the meantime, in between time, Brother Afro, I noticed how you pointed that out, and you said this in another space, how they use their Democrat and Republican little battles and use us as pawns in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We'll agree when it comes to a specific point politically, and then for the rest of the things we disagree with. But they home in on the specific one tangible thing that we agree with. And I'm glad that you were able to vet that question out. because it's almost as if you're tripping on the word.
Real quick, Afro. If you spoke already, could you go down to the listeners, because we're packed right now, and she tried to come up, but it's not.
Hey, no. I'll go down. I'll go down.
Okay, cool. Okay,
all right.
Okay. So I forgot her name, but could you come up, please, ma'am?
No thing or no other, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't deny you. It's just so many people in here that it's hard to accept anybody. So if you spoke already, just go down to listeners and then come back when we finish. And I want the white sister to come up, our daily sister to come up and speak. So you could request again, sister. Matter of fact, I'll send you a request.
And while we waiting for her to come up, can I just say something? Because she said something about New York before she goes. I want to just clear something up. Yeah, so one of the things that she said, and as a native New Yorker, been here my whole life, one of the things that Another Day said that I think we got to be real careful of and push back against it. She said, "Oh yeah, no, Donald Trump is just a New Yorker like me, and we don't have that. We're not against black people. One, we all know that's a lie, right? So let's just put that out there. But the history of New York City is one ripe with that.
Could you hold that thought for two?
Yeah.
Because she's here, and I want to give her a chance to respond, because we're respectable here. We like to, if you disagree, we like to give people the opportunity to defend themselves. So, Nother, you are free to respond to Afro Elite respectfully.
Okay, thank you so much. So my question that I seemed evasive on regarding reparations is because I'm not in any position to decide what reparations Black people should get or what they want. My point was that you should get whatever you think you deserve and whatever you want, not Happy Meals or whatever. There was a joke made during that little exchange. So, and it was kind of on the funny side. But the point is, I'm not in a position, I'm not a politician. Whatever you think is fair is what should be worked out, I think, between the government and the people who deserve this kind of reparations. The other thing was, there was another point made. As far as Donald Trump goes, I was just saying, I really don't have the history of this man to be in a position to judge him one way or the other. Maybe he's a white supremacist. I really don't know. But I wouldn't want to call anybody a white supremacist or a Black supremacist without really knowing their background. So that's pretty much, thank you for giving me the chance to address that. I just don't think I'm in a position to judge what you guys want and what you guys think is fair.
Okay. And to respond to that, I will say the concept of Black supremacy does not exist. There is no such thing as a Black supremacist. The world is governed by white supremacy, and by definition, there can only be one supreme. So there is only white supremacy. There is no other supremacy. There can't be two supremes. So there's only white supremacist and white supremacy. As far as the reparations, what I piggybacked off, or what I ascertained from what you had to say, is you gave it to, the first thing you said is, well, it's what the government decides, when we asked you your opinion about reparations. Now, you were very vocal about your disagreements with the government as far as illegal immigration. You don't have a problem disagreeing with the government as far as illegal immigration. But the second we said something about reparations, you said, well, it's what the government and you all agree to, what the government agrees to. So why, when it comes to illegal immigration, is the government's opinion the wrong opinion, and it doesn't matter what the government thinks? But when it comes to reparation, it matters what the government thinks.
My point is, I think I'm listening to you, all you guys say, call ICE. And I said before, if we all called ICE every day long, is ICE really going to do something to these people? And you call and say, hey, I think these people down the block, around the corner, I think they're here illegally. You think ICE is really going to come and do something about that? So that's one thing. The second thing is, again, I have no say over, I may disagree with what the government's doing with the immigrants. Yes, I do. But I also disagree with what the government is not offering your brothers, because I'm not obviously black, but I do disagree that the government is not offering you reparations.
Okay. Now, I assume that you know a little bit about American history, right? And I've never met you before, but I would assume based off of the way you're speaking, you know about American history, right?
Some.
Okay, yeah, fair enough to know that the American government has paid multiple different groups of people reparations over trillions of dollars collectively over reparations, as far as Ukraine, Afghanistan, the Japanese with the internment camps, the specific religious community. They've paid them reparations, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars collectively. You are aware
Yes,
of that,
yes, I
right?
am aware of
Okay.
that. Uh-huh.
So, and this is, we're having a respectful conversation.
Okay.
And they paid them in cash payments. They didn't pay him in like land. They didn't pay him in student loan relief debt. They didn't pay him in, voter rights. They didn't pay him in anything else. They paid them specifically in cash payments as far as reparations goes. So when we asked about cash payments reparations, you seem to suggest that there would be a better alternative. There might be a better alternative than cash reparations. So my question to you is, why, if the American government is known to pay cash reparations to other groups of people, why would you suggest that there is a better alternative to reparations for foundational Black Americans?
No, that wasn't what I was saying. I was just saying that I was not in a position to make a call as to what Black people would be most happy with. That's all I was saying. If you want land, maybe you want land. If you want another form of reparation, that's not something that I'm in a position to judge. That's all. All I meant. If the government wants to give you cash, and you think that's fair, I think that should be worked out. I'm not objecting or in any way saying it shouldn't be a cash payment. You misunderstood what I was saying.
Okay, all right. Well, you're here to clarify. I'm not trying to beat you up or nothing. I'm just asking questions.
It's cool.
So we
It's
can
cool.
have clarification. Another thing I would like to ask you, when you mentioned the thing about Donald Trump being a New Yorker, and that's really not the way New Yorkers roll as far as being racist and I guess being colorblind, is that what you were implying, that New Yorkers are colorblind and they don't see race?
Well, I grew up in Brooklyn. All of my girlfriends in the high school that I went to happened to be all Black. So did we see color? I mean, it's only natural for people to see color. I'm sure that Black people see white people as white and so on. But no, I don't think that.
One second. Let me ask you a quick question. Are you from?
Okay.
Are you from the Bensonhurst and Bath Beach area?
No.
Okay. All right. Continue. Go ahead.
No, I was in a more mixed neighborhood in East Flatbush. So our neighborhood was in Bensonhurst. We mixed far more sooner than those areas, those sections did. And as I recently looked at my high school photographs, I saw all of my girlfriends were all Black. And I'm like, oh, I don't even remember that. So I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not in touch with them now, but anyway, I don't see that people that I grew up with basically hated blacks. No. I grew up in the riots. I mean, we could have said, hey, look what's going on here. You know, it could have been easy for us to not like the black people because look what they were doing. I was a child, you know. But then my family explained to me that there was a reason that this was going on. And so maybe for my family, we were immigrants here too. My grandfather came here and he had to work on an ice truck. And my parents had to quit school and never even made it out of grammar school. So I come from a different background. We worked hard in this country. We came here as immigrants. Nobody gave us a damn thing. And nobody said that everybody had to learn to speak Italian. We had to learn to speak English. But the immigrants coming today, they're getting phones, they're getting cards, they're getting this, they're getting that. It doesn't seem fair. So that's
okay. I'm just clarifying some of the things that you said that might have been a little bit confusing. This is not me attacking you. Trust me, there'd be different tone in my voice if I was trying to get on your case about what you said. Trust me.
No problem.
Just asking for clarification. Now, you're aware though, since you said you grew up in New York, right? So you are aware that there is a lot of white supremacy in New York. I mean, you can just look at stop and frisk, for example, right? I mean, clearly you're aware of some of the anti-black history of New York City. I mean, New York City literally had the race riots where you had white people killing black people, but randomly killing black people because they didn't want to be drafted in the Civil War. New York was a big, the Civil War. It was the race riots in the 1860s.
No, well,
and they were drafted into the Civil War. White people were being drafted into the Civil War and they didn't want to. So in response, they just started killing black people. New York was a big slave state as well. A lot of people don't recognize that or know that. So there's a lot of anti-black history in New York. And I just gave a couple examples. So I'm sure you would be aware of that. And if you're not, maybe that changes your perspective on New York.
It might be. I don't know the history going back to the 1800s. All I know is that it seems to me the Democrats claim to want to help the black people, and I don't see the Democrats really helping the black people advance. I really don't.
Well,
and I don't.
Well,
I don't.
let me ask you this question: are the Republicans helping black people?
I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know. I think that I don't know.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
Is it like a 50-50 or like why are you not sure about it? Because you're sure about the Democrats. So
let me tell you something. I live in a community. I'm now in New Jersey. It's all Democratic, but my city's all white. So I look at these Democrats. I'm like, well, how come we don't have some more black people in our town? So I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I think the Democrats are just as much hypocrites maybe as the Republicans are. But I don't know.
Ma'am, I have a question for you. I have a question. Does your support for black people cross political lines, or does it just take a side for whatever political party that you're representing? That I just question that, because it seems as if your party that you're supporting is on board with the foundational Black American community, then you pick that side. So my question is do you support black people beyond just a political party?
Absolutely. It's not a political party thing. No, absolutely.
All right. Okay, well, to piggyback off of that, then you need to understand that white supremacy operates on the left side and the right side equally. Okay. You hear me out. Listen. It operates on the left side and the right side, conservative and liberal. It's not a conservative or liberal thing. Conservative and liberal, Republican and Democrat, those are for the white community. That's their designations. To foundational Black Americans and anybody who receives anti-Black racism, it goes across the boards, and we don't put them in those boxes or those categories. You understand? So anytime you look at anti-Black racism or what's going on with Black people in America, understand it's not a person wearing blue doing it. It's not a person wearing red doing it. It's both sides. And I say that respectfully.
So then who can you support to make your agenda go further? I mean, who do you feel
we support ourselves. That's who we support. Independent. We're independents. We support foundational Black Americans. We had some foundational Black American candidates in this room earlier speaking, if you heard them. So we support ourselves.
I came on late. Cool.
Okay, it's all right. I'm cluing you in. We're letting everyone know that right now we're removing ourselves from the political atmosphere of Republicans and Democrats and going on that Republican or Democratic plantation. Now it's about true representation from an individual and an independent aspect. So that's where we are right now. So it's not an either or with Black people in America. Right now, it's more about self, do for self, gain for self and achieve for self in the political process. So anybody who tries to tie us into the Democrats or the Republicans, that was yesterday. And today is about us representing ourselves. So that's where we are politically.
Thank you for clarifying that. But I want to go back to the point where you guys are all saying, and even call ICE, call ICE. Do you think that we would accomplish anything by doing that? I'm just curious.
I can say that. Go ahead, Afro. That's on you, brother.
I was about to say it can't hurt. I believe that can be, definitely it would be. Because
there's a lot of people that don't like
put them on the map. We will put them on blast. So if another administration comes, we already have those records that companies have been doing that. It can't hurt whatsoever to call them, even if ICE doesn't remove them.
Okay.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And a lot of people who work for ICE and a lot of people who support ICE, trust me, you make that right call and that right agent answers, there's going to be some, consequences and repercussions. They're going to get some results done. So the notion that if you call them, they're just going to sit on their hands, that's not what's going to happen. The people who instituted ICE and created ICE and the people who work for ICE, they're going to go make it happen. And even if 10 of them do, like Brother Afro was saying, if you call 15 and 10 of them get the job done, that's 10 people who shouldn't be in this country, who are operating illegally, who have been taken care of. It's the same thing across the board. So yes, call ICE. Call them a million times. Tell your friends, call ICE. Tell your aunties, your uncles, everybody. Just grab your phone and call ICE. You see something wrong, call ICE. You see something off balance, call ICE, and make sure you keep on doing it time and time again, because it will work. I guarantee it. Because we're talking about supremacy, and all the people that support the immigrants coming into this country, a lot of times those are the people who benefit from it through labor and through the workforce. Your average everyday person out here in the streets, they don't really deal with some of the immigrants who come to this country fraudulently. So you think Billy Bob in Alabama is going to say, we're going to let them go? That ain't happening. So if you got to call Billy Bob or you got to call Jerome, make sure you call ICE.
Got it.
All right, we're going to move on. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Ross, and then B-Will.
Sam, I'm sorry, real quick, right before she leaves the stage, I wanted to say to another day, just real quick, I think that this is a teachable moment. Like I said, I put Dr. Darity's link for his book, From Here to Equality, because we got to understand, fam, that this is a potential ally for what we're talking about. She just doesn't know enough. And in certain places like Houston, Texas, when I was down there about a month and a half ago, it's schools that are not teaching this. They're not teaching this in New York. They're not teaching the history in New York City. They haven't ever taught the real history, like From Here to Equality and books like that are teaching. They haven't taught from the Back of the Hiring Line by Roy Beck. So we can't just assume that she knows, because how would she, right? It's a teachable moment. So I do want to appreciate her, time and patience and being as honest as possible, because if we think that Joe Crow, Biden is one of our allies and is not racist, then we've completely lost our minds. Both of them are racist. So that's basically the truth in all of it. So we got to keep that in mind. But I definitely wanted to thank her for being able to come on here and be patient and let us know, I lived in Brooklyn. And Divine, thank you for your words. We definitely are trying to, make sure that people are getting paid for turning people in. I don't want people to say, well, I'm not turning anybody in. Well, we're going to give you several reasons to turn people in. And if you could add a few $1,000s to your bank account for free, then let's make that happen. So I wanted to say that also. And that's it. I've docked my yacht, and I wanted to thank you for letting me tiptoe back onto the stage. Thank you.
Anytime, sister. And you make a good point. And I tell this to everybody. You don't have to be, allies all across the board with somebody. We're playing a negotiation game. That's what politics is. So when you deal with somebody like Donald Trump, who was saying build that wall, you don't have to like Donald Trump. You don't have to love Donald Trump. But you can meet him at the table when it comes to that particular law that he put it forth. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody has an idea of build that wall or they're anti-immigration, you can be like that with them. You don't have to go home with them, hang out with them, kick it with them. You don't have to put a badge on your shirt and say that y'all friends to the end. You don't have to do any of that. This is all about playing chess, not playing checkers. So if black folks need to understand in the political atmosphere, if somebody from another side of the table has an idea that we may, meet on or we may overlap, go ahead and get the work done. Because had black folks did this with Donald Trump and supported that wall, some of these problems that Joe Biden has pushed forth, we might not even be in right now. So it's all about negotiation. It's all business. It's never personal. Black folks take politics too personal. It ain't personal, it's business. So Joe Blow, Joe Schmo, whoever has an idea or a policy that can benefit foundational black Americans, I can meet him at the table as long as something's in it for me. So that's what Tangibles is all about. So you don't have to be friends with them. You don't have to be a Democrat or Republican. All you got to do is be one and come on behalf of B1 and we can get it done. That's the main thing. B1 talking, and then I think yikes.
Can I just say, I was not trying to attack her or anything. I was just asking for clarification because some of the things that she said kind of seemed unclear. So that's all I was saying.
Oh yeah, we already know, brother. We just all we do over here, we just ask questions. That's all we do. And by the way, I'm not for that notion that she doesn't know. She's not educated enough. I believe all white people are very educated. They benefit off the system of white supremacy. So obviously they're educated. For you to wake up every day and get privileges, $1 million privileges, you gotta be privileged. There's no way you don't know. So I'm not for that notion that they don't know. But
for the record, she didn't really answer none of those questions either. By the way, she was evading them the same way. She came back and sometimes she would give double answers. To be honest, she said yeah and no, up and down, left and right. And Brother Afro asked her some real clear questions, and she was doing a little tap dancing and dancing around. So that's another one of those tactics that you guys talk about.
Well, we know that's how white supremacy works. White supremacy, they have to be real particular with their answers. They can't really give you a straight direct answer because they might fumble the ball. So they got to really be careful on what they say yes with, what they say no with. So we understand 100%. We know how this goes. If I ask you a simple question, do you believe Donald Trump is a white supremacist, and you tell me you don't know, and then I ask you are the Republicans doing anything for black people, and you say you don't know, you kind of throw me off there.
What's they saying? They play both sides of the argument and they'll make any concession to win.
Exactly. So just in case anybody in here thought that she was fooling us, she was not fooling us. I like to let these folks speak so they can, kill themselves.
B1, go ahead and speak.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight? I'm just sitting back and listening, and I like the topic about immigration. And I know everybody will say, call ICE, call ICE. Well, this is what I think here. Instead of punishing the people that come over here, if you make it difficult for them to find work, that'll kind of alleviate them coming over here. And so what I'm getting at is we need laws to punish the businesses for hiring them. So in other words, like like today, if I'm a drug dealer, if I get busted, but it takes everything I got. It should be the same thing with them.
There's already laws on the books. The laws are not being fulfilled. The laws are not being put in place because these business owners benefit from these illegal aliens working for them. So the laws is already there. The laws are not just being upheld. It's already there. There's a bunch of laws out there. There's laws not to kill black people, and they still kill us. So it's not.
But I don't think it's like it's laws out there, but it's not laws like they have like the 94 crime bill. It's not laws like that. It's like how they heavily enforce that. If you tie that to snatching a business with the same way as drug dealing and all that with that 94 crime bill, I guarantee you it'll stop overnight. Yeah, they'll still come, but what?
Okay, is there not laws out there that says that businesses are not supposed to hire illegal aliens? Are there not laws out there for that?
Yeah, but what's the punishment for it? It's no punishment. That's what I'm telling you. There's no punishment. There's no
Yes,
power.
there
There's no
is.
punch behind that
Yes, there is.
law.
Yes, there is. If they're creating a law, of course there's punishment for it. Every law has a punishment if you break the law. Like I said, they're just not upholding the law. Laws mean nothing if nobody's upholding the law. It's just like if these race soldiers shoot us in the back of the head, knowing they're not supposed to shoot us, but they still walk off guilty. It's not about the law. It's about who upholds the law. Who says, okay, you broke this law and you're gonna get punished for it. Laws mean nothing in the system of white supremacy.
Oh well, I mean, you have your opinion, I have mine. I mean, I still think that the laws they got, they're jokes, and that a fine. Mostly, I think happening to them is a fine. When you start snatching some people's businesses, you snatch their business from them. That sends a message. That sends a message.
Thank you so much.
That's all I'm saying.
We'll move on to the next hand.